The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pink!
damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Monday, November 13th, brought to you by Verizon. This sports program starts right now.
Football!
It is awesome. There was a couple Boar Fest. There was walk-off finishes. There was electricity in Germany from the fans, but not so much on the field. There was a magical day of football yesterday, and obviously college football is batting 1,000 on shit to talk about. Tonight, week 10 of the NFL season will wrap up as the Broncos travel to Western New York to take on the who are they? Buffalo Bills. Bills are favored by 7. Cannot wait to see how this unfolds. Will Josh Allen play like Josh Allen can play? Will that offense look like the Buffalo Bills offense? How about Von Miller? Will he get back to it on the defensive side of the ball? Or will Russell Wilson let's ride his way into a much better conversation tomorrow for the entire Denver Broncos team? We shall see as this NFL Week 10 wraps up this evening. We have Adam Schefter on in 29 minutes. What's going on, Shefty?
Tell us.
Does he give us stuff? Very rarely.
Usually never.
He doesn't even give us like, there's a chance.
No.
Normally it's like, hey, what's going on here? Nothing. No chance. Hey, what's going on with these injuries? We'll see. They're getting tested. All right. Can you just give us the thought of an apparent potential thing to happen? I think today's the day he does that. Shout out to Schefter joining us
Thank you,
in about
Jeff.
28
Thanks,
minutes. Then we'll have the authority, Pete Thamel, in the second hour to break down everything happening around the college football world. Obviously, the Jim Harbaugh news coming in late last week, and then him missing this past week's game, even though there was a chance they were going to file an injunction to a court on Saturday morning for him to be on the... It's bananas. Anyways, 4 coaches have been fired already in college football, and a lot of money has been paid in a buyout. We'll talk to Pete Thamel about that in the second hour. AJ Hawk will be here. I think he's going to look a little different. Everybody should get excited for that.
Okay.
He's been through some shit.
Really?
Oh,
AJ Hawk's been through some shit.
new haircut?
I don't know. Just go ahead and put your guesses down there.
Beat COVID again?
What's that?
Beat COVID again?
Well, we don't-
Maybe.
Certainly possible.
15
I mean,
times?
certainly a chance he beats COVID yet again, and for the rest of his life, just COVID's probably going to be here for that long. But today is today we're going to see a different AJ Hawk. Anyways, same old talks at the table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. That's why I don't use plastic straws right there on your chest, pal.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I hate the paper straws. I
Hate
think it's
'em.
one of the dumbest things that's
Hate
been
'em.
invented. Yeah, so I'm anti plastic or paper straw, but pro sea turtle for sure. No
Which
matter
I think
what.
both can be allowed.
Exactly, yeah. You can live in that gray area in between the two.
Even though you see one of them sea turtles up close in person, you're like, wow, this is a majestic turtle.
Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Holy hell, this turtle is special. I would never want to be a reason why this turtle would have to battle through something. But then you start looking at stats from the other side. They're like, well, actually, there's a chance that it's like, okay. So what's real, what isn't? I know this paper straw, not real.
Terrible.
Okay, I know it's affecting the taste of this water.
Yep.
I know it's falling apart in my hand, and I know it's not the answer. So if we're not going to do the plastic straws to save the sea turtles, who we all love, all we're asking for is an alternative.
Yeah, sure.
We just can't throw the paper into water and think that's going to work, but we should potentially figure it out for the good of what's on your chest right there.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe just get rid of straws as a whole, and then you just have to, drink it from the side of the cup.
Need straws.
Yeah, there's a couple
For which
drinks
one?
there. I mean, as you grow older, you'll probably have a drink of something that'll probably be much better with a straw than just
Like a
trying
pina-
it with your teeth.
Pina colada.
Sure.
There's one.
That's the only thing I can think of, really, right off the top of the
Smoothies
head.
you guys drink every day?
Yeah.
But if I had to, I could probably spoon that thing.
Yeah, but who wants to do that?
Okay, well, spoons might be a.
Yeah,
I mean,
oh,
we haven't even
spoons
dove
also.
into.
How about wood?
What?
Wooden straws.
Wood straw would be cool.
That seems affordable.
Yeah.
That seems like something that we should definitely do. Go to 84 Lumber, ask them to start striping out some pine so we could drink off. But shout out to the Sea Turtles. We are all on Sea Turtle side.
Yes, love the Sea Turtles, and Metal Straws also is a good replacement.
Yeah, but you got to bring it, and also not very easy to.
No, not Ben.
That's also changing the
Dangerous.
taste of the you
Yeah.
get that metallic taste.
And who knows what that metal is doing whenever,
Exactly.
there's probably other.
Exactly.
Other
Somebody has the right answer.
Someone will figure it out.
Yeah, we need that. We need to not mail it in on, paper straws is the answer.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to say.
like a catheter for your gut.
The metal straw?
Yeah.
All right, let's move along. Shout out to the Sea Turtles. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys tone. Unders continue to be very hot. This is an under season for you, pal.
Yeah, primetime, especially 24-7 now to the unders. There was some exciting games that went over yesterday, but if it's dark out and there's a football game being played, that thing's going under, my friend.
Yeah, and there's a person joining us right now that might have some answers on why that is taking place. 9-year NFL vet, host of the Man to Man podcast and everything DB. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Butler. DB, why when the lights come on, these guys aren't playing their best ball? You think we got a bunch of scaredy cats out there playing for all these teams? We don't think we have any big dogs on these teams. You know, primetime players make primetime plays in primetime games. We don't have a lot of those happening, except for from kickers yesterday, which we will certainly dive into. What do we think the reasoning is for all the unders happening this year?
Maybe it's the matchups, obviously, some of the people that are on prime time. And then it's a lot of different quarterbacks playing. And we talked about it earlier this year. I want to say only 3 quarterbacks coming to the league this year as a starting quarterback that have had the same play caller in their ear for 3 or more seasons. That's across the entire league. I think it was Sean McVay with Stafford, Burrow and Taylor, and then Andy Reid, without Eric Bieniemy with Patrick Mahomes. So a lot of movement there, a lot of moving parts, and then defenses are playing better as well.
Yeah, you talk about those offense coordinators. Mac Jones had 3 different ones in 3 years.
Yeah.
And I believe everybody in New England is probably about done with the Mac Jones experience, even though he might have been set up to not really have success
for sure.
For 3 offense coordinators in 3 different seasons. That's not easy, having to depict and change and do stuff. And then last year, allegedly, he was asking questions and they didn't even have answers. He said, we don't know. We're a defense coordinator, special teams coordinator. We'll find out whenever we get there. And Mac's like, well, I'd like to have the answers. We don't got them. So shut up.
Yep.
And there's that was certainly an interesting little run for Mac Jones. It didn't work out well. Then this year with Billy O. Billy O's on his ass in Germany a little bit. Billy O's about sick of it. Look, throw the ball. That guy, open. Throw the ball. And Bill Belichick sitting in front there, nothing to see here, obviously. And Darius said that was about 3.5 out of 10 for old Billy O'Brien. We've seen old Tea Kettle.
Yes.
Billy O'Brien do a lot worse throughout the history of NFL football. I don't know how he was in Alabama, but we remember those days when him and Tom would potentially have a nice blowout. So welcome back to the NFL, Billy O. That is for sure. But watching that German game yesterday morning, Colts get a big win.
Yeah. Massive dub.
Long flight. Long flight. Did not know how long that flight was until about Thursday when the conversation was had, we should go to that game. So the thought was maybe going from Athens to Frankfurt, 9 hours is what that flight was going to be. And it's not getting there that's the issue after game day. It's coming back and just being absolutely dead. So long flight, Colts come back as a happy team. But nobody should have been happy as a fan about that game.
No.
The Germans probably not exactly thrilled that was one of them. But, hey, you had Chiefs-Dolphins a week ago, so get over it.
That's right.
Guten Morgen. Okay, move along, pal. But the Patriots are ass.
Holy
I mean,
hell.
they are absolute ass.
Yep.
Trash bag. Terrible at football. I did not know it was this horrendous.
Geez.
I know it. And now, obviously, that pick is terrible. And if he hits Gesicki in the back of the end zone, that's a tud. He's gritty and in Germany. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Off his back foot. I mean, that's just horrendous. I don't know if he thinks he's coming underneath. Why would he? It's an end zone. Who knows? There was about 1,000 of those plays that happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Let alone subbing in Bailey Zappi and having him do a fake spike.
What a play.
A fake spike in a 2-minute drill when he
Good
just
plays.
got on the field. Obviously, another easy interception for the Indianapolis Colts defense.
Jeez.
I had no idea you guys were this terrible.
Oh, yeah.
It is bad. Is Bill mailing it in? Is this team know that the lame duck coaching situation? Why do you think you guys are horrendous at football? The Colts team, all those people making plays, you don't even know their names.
No.
These people don't even know. I'm learning the guys each single week. I got season tickets. I'm on the field for this Colts team. I love that they got to win. Gardner Minshew, dog. Okay, he's making plays. He's scrambling around. Josh Downs is going to be very good for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we got a couple. Michael Pittman has a catch in like 50-some straight games.
Had a good
He-
kick return.
yeah, incredible kick return. We're not fair catching kickoffs anymore. Thank you, Colts, for not being little bitches anymore. That is great news. This is a massive play. Obviously, 3rd and 6, fourth quarter, ices the game pretty much. Off his back foot. Beautiful.
Nasty.
Beautiful play. But you saw none of that from the Patriots side. And it seemed like on defense, the effort was vastly different than what it had been in the past. The sophistication of it was lower. It's just like everything's bad. Is this on purpose, you think, or what is this because of?
I don't know if it's on purpose, just because, holding the Colts to under 20 with the first team in the NFL to do that. So that was a massive win for the Patriots defense.
Way to go. Hey, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Massive win.
You're right. Shane Steichen got stopped for the first time as a head coach. I mean, that is real.
Yeah, and because of that, just the boys actually playing hard. Like, I was more so worried about the Bears effect that they had a few years ago where the defense was just tired of playing, and at a certain point in the season, they just started giving up. I honestly don't know what it is. This is one of the worst teams, like, across the board. Not worst Patriots teams. One of the worst teams across the board I can remember watching. Bob Kraft he probably's got Jupiter on the mind. He does not want to be in Germany. But the biggest thing is Mac. That interception, I get we can dump on Belichick. We can dump on the entire team. There's no coaching that tells Mac Jones to, hey, make that throw in the fourth quarter going in, unless they are legitimately tanking, telling Mac, hey, this is going to be real bad. People are never going to want you to be their quarterback.
Yeah, you're going to end your career.
Yeah, your career's going to be done.
Do it, though.
No chance you're going to get a fifth-year option. But, yeah, go out there and look like an asshole so that we can get a top 5 pick. That's not the case. It's just a bad football team across the board.
Robert Kraft was talking before the game on the sideline. He said, I've owned the team for 30 years. I've never been 2-7.
No. Ever.
I've never been 2-7. So the way he was speaking made people believe, like, oh, Robert Kraft genuinely thinking about making a move at some point. If Bill Belichick, and they're saying, I think Diana Rossini reported this weekend, that there's a feeling around the building that they're going to mutually agree to part ways. Bill Belichick and New England Patriots. Could you fathom Bill Belichick coaching somewhere else next year? I couldn't. He will, though. He's got a coaching record to go get. Yep. He's going to take his talents elsewhere. I'll be excited to see how it goes. Kraft is going to have to actually fire Bill Belichick. It is crazy. Well, it is a wild time to think about it. Like, every time we have Lombo on, who's very close to the situation, very close to the situation. He knows everybody. Kid worked. He worked. Yeah. He knows them all. Like, him being like, Bill's going to continue to coach if he goes. It's like, Lombo didn't say there's no way Kraft fires Bill Belichick.
Yeah, no.
Like, nobody's safe in the NFL. I saw Peyton Manning get cut.
Yep.
There's a chance Robert Kraft is or Bill Belichick's about to get fired. Yeah. Bananas to think about in the NFL.
Yeah, it'll be a respectful parting with ways. And Conman said it, like, Bill's going to coach until he gets that record, so we will see him something with another hoodie on, another hat, which would be nuts. I didn't think I would ever see Brady in another jersey. Obviously, we saw him go to Tampa and win that chip, but you say you can't fathom building another, hat logo. I can't imagine 2-8. Like, if you told me coming into the season, I know Mac Jones and they were picked to probably be last in the division coming into the year, but 2-8 going into their 11th game, like I couldn't fathom this for a
We will ask Schefter what his thoughts are on that entire thing whenever he joins us here in about 19 minutes. Let's talk about a team that's back. Welcome back, San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, Jacksonville had to be on the receiving end of it, and that's a damn shame because we love Duval.
Oh, yeah.
I love everything they got cooking down there. I like that they have pools in the stadium. I like Doug Peterson wears the visor, comes on the show. He's got a big brain.
The man.
I heard a theory that the reason why people wear visors is because they got such a big brain. I love that thought because if you start thinking about the visor people, not bad offensive football gurus. Doug Peterson has done a fantastic job since he's gotten down to Jacksonville. Now, they just so happen to run into a Niners team that had to play at 10 a.m. local. Okay, that's not fair for these West Coast teams. And also Brock Purdy bouncing back. Now that play, Kyle Shanahan came out and said, yeah, that was the worst play maybe he's ever had. Thrown back across his body into double coverage, and Ayuk made him right. He said, I love the touchdown, hate everything else about the entire play, but sometimes there's just things that are going to go your way. Now, the big thing that I saw is they talk about the first two people off the bus. They actually have this in San Francisco where it's the first two people onto the field. And every single week, it's Trent Williams and a man named Debo. Okay? Trent Williams, if you don't know, massive, faster than you are, can jump higher than you are. And he's an absolute dog, will take your actual head off. The other guy's name is Debo. That's his actual name. Those two lead them out of the tunnel with a speaker every single week. They were gone. People are like, why did they lose somebody? The two dudes that are not only leading you off the bus, but leading you onto the field, setting the tone. Okay, letting the entire stadium know this is what we're about. And also, if you're on that team and you see Trent Williams in the front doing that, it's like, okay, yeah, I feel like we're okay. I feel like we are in a good spot. Those two coming back, I think, is massive. Trent Williams told a story about number 31, shout out to a DB, on Debo's rushing touchdown, literally turning and running away from him. That's what he does whenever he's on a football field. Massive piece of information for them. I think the Niners are all the way back, and we need to act accordingly. I don't think those 3 games are even going to be talked about in about 4 or 5 weeks whenever we watch this Niners team continue to do what they were doing at the beginning of the year and adding Chase Young to the mix. I loved what I saw from the San Francisco 49ers yesterday, D-Bud.
Yeah, had a 3-game slide, so obviously people were panicking. And, at some point in the season, in the year, Brock is going to have to play without the full, arsenal. But, I mean, like you said, tone setters. Trent Williams, best left tackle in the game. Going to be in a discussion for the best to ever do it at that position. Like you said, no man that big should be able to move like he did. And that was a great business decision by Darius Williams, by the way. Extend that play out, draw it out, die slow, save the touchdown, line it up again. But, yeah, him, obviously Debo been involved as well. But Brock Purdy, the last couple games, he's been playing well outside of turning the ball over. C-Mac coming into this game, he needed more touches. I think he got over 20 touches this game. So the recipe was there. And then you saw Chase Young, who was up front, too. You put him on the other side of Bosa. If he continues to play, look at these two dudes.
Yeah, they met at the quarterback.
Yeah,
shout out to Ohio State doing it.
Yeah, that's going to help the defense get back on track, too.
And they were sitting right next to each other on the bench. I assume they were very, very tight in college, a very talented group. And Chase has a different feel. Now, he's not expected to be the pillar of a defense. He's just like, hey, just come in and add something. He did with a half sack and some other stats, I believe. Now, you talk about McCaffrey getting over 20 touches. 16 rushes, 95 yards, 6 receptions, 47 yards. No touchdown, though. That's what he had to say about the touchdown. We don't have it. Anyways, he said, I suck. Everybody else on our team scored a touchdown but me. 17 straight games he had a touchdown. Couldn't make it to 18, though. Tied.
Lenny Moore, former Colts, great.
With 17 straight weeks. This is the first time since a long time ago this happened. They tried to get him ball 4 straight times in the red zone at the end of the game. All the backups are on the field. Backup quarterback, backup offensive line, backup everybody else. Starters still in on Jacksonville. I do love that they were attempting to get it to him, and everybody in the stadium knew what it was, and Jacksonville said, Little moral victory at the end of that game, but overall, this Niners team's all the way back. With
a Y.
All checks. This could be a juice check.
I like it.
I like it a lot. Good call, Tone, actually.
The defense was back, though. Like, they were back. Hargrave, I think, had a couple. Bosa finally got home. Warner had a pick. I think Kufunga had a pick off of a Bosa sack or whatever. Like, yeah, they were back to the defense when it was 5-0, and we were like, oh, this team's winning the Super Bowl. That's them. That was them.
Ty, I don't want to talk about the overreactions before we do them later. Hashtag I don't want to overreact. But was there anybody saying stuff about Trevor Lawrence? Because I was reading the internet yesterday, and there was a lot of people dogging Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, a little bit. With not so much panicking, because I think people are still very confident that they're going to be just fine. But I kind of more so.
What were you nodding your head for?
I'm seeing it. I'm hearing it too. Because I've been a Trevor Lawrence fan, and you feel like he kind of turned the corner, but it's just the consistency. And like you said, you see a lot of these plays, he's under pressure, but the consistency of being that generational talent that we've kind of crowned him to be since probably junior in high school. Just haven't seen it on a week-to-week basis in the NFL yet.
A lot of it was basically saying, like, oh, we thought this was the Jags division in a runaway. Like, look what C.J. Stroud's doing. Like, the Jags are in trouble for the next several years because of how well he's been playing.
Yeah, and Will Levis came back down to earth.
Yep.
The Titans only scored like 6 points there for a while. And you saw a lot of Vrabel on the sideline. Now, it was only on a 4-screen for me, so I didn't get to hear all the chatter or watch the whole thing. But there was a lot of Vrabel on the sideline just holding his old paper, looking around. And then you start thinking about what's going on in these coaching jobs around in a lot of these places. We don't want to put the cart before the horse here, but Vrabes would be offered, just like Bill Belichick, Vrabes would be offered anywhere, anytime to coach anything. Like that is kind of how it would go. And you start continuing to look at what the Titans are. Now I thought they had it with Will Levis. I thought it was like, all right, here we go. Here's the future.
Yeah.
And then they have one down week. Maybe I shouldn't sell it down the river yet. But there's still a thought, like, what does Vrabel's future look like? None of us know.
They might, and not that the Titans are our story this week, but now that they're undefeated at home, I think, and 0-6 away from home or whatever it is, like, they just can't win on the road. I don't know if that's a Vrabes thing. Vrabes got to figure it out.
Yeah, well, Baker Mayfield, too, whenever he's cooking. 18 for 29, 278, and 2 tuds yesterday. Now, he also had a pick, but the Buccaneers get a big win. You talked about what happened down in Houston. I don't want to just dive into that just yet. But I would like to talk about, hey, listen, you can't move the ball. Why don't the punter do it? Okay?
Good idea.
You have no offense, you're Iowa. Why don't you let the punter do his thing?
Yeah.
You can't score points. You guys suck. Well, let's have the kicker score some points. And then you can't win the game. Let's have the kicker win the game.
Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday will be remembered for one thing and one thing alone. That's the Week 10 walk-off bonanza. 5 games had kickers win games for them, and I can't tell you enough how jacked up and zeked I got watching all of them. Because sometimes, a kicker will miss a kick, and people go crazy, even though their team sucks. Their team has been terrible for 4 quarters. Well, you make the kick, we win the game. We don't have to talk about it. It's like, well, maybe you guys run for, 14 yards, have 2 completions. Maybe it wouldn't come down to just this particular kick, but I get it. Do your job. Now, I only get to come out here 4 to 5 times an entire game. If I miss one of them, you're going to kill me forever. You have a chance to do something 20, 30 times a game. You guys have sucked, but you know what? I'll do my job for you on this beautiful Week 10. We're talking about new kickers in new places, saving and winning games for them. And don't look now. Don't look now. Deshaun Watson might be
He might
all
be.
the way. Deshaun Watson might be Deshaun Watson again. Now, there's a whole conversation that has to take place around Deshaun Watson anytime you mention his name.
Sure, of course.
You guys can have that. We're all thinking the same thing. Went through a lot, put himself through a lot. Very serious allegations took place, a very serious settlement, a lot of time away from football. But every time he got on the field since then, it seemed like he was inching closer back to the old Deshaun Watson. It was kind of exciting. Then he had this injury, fluke injury out of nowhere. He's off the field for a while. He's saying he's not healthy. They're saying he's healthy. Is this going to put a damper on everything? Deshaun Watson's back. Second half yesterday, won 14 for 14 or something like that. Rushed for a bunch of yards. And the end of the game was phenomenal. Here's Deshaun Watson in the fourth quarter. 2 minutes left. 2nd and 19. Straight to Cooper. Okay. That's a big-time ball. Those two are supposed to be the connection for the future for this particular Cleveland Browns team. 31-30. Remember, it's not a tie game because Dustin Hopkins missed a 33-yard extra point earlier in the fourth quarter. Deshaun Watson breaking tackles, spinning, running, doing his. This is old Deshaun Watson.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
He didn't look as fast as old Deshaun Watson. His knee drive wasn't as much. I think he might have been tired here in the fourth quarter, but he was certainly elusive, running, held onto the ball, kept the clock moving too. Smart football from Deshaun Watson. Then he hands it off to Ford. We need one. Stumbling, fumbling, bumbling. Now where are we? Field goal range, baby, with the whole team strumming and mushing for the first down to move that. It's not only Battaglia who gets circled right there, who we absolutely love. It's the whole damn O-line getting in on the mix.
Yeah.
Let's pick him up. Njoku, too, ran right through a human earlier in this game. He's an absolute specimen. Let's go ahead and move the entire pile. Let's out physical. Then, from 40 yards, dead center, Dustin Hopkins out of Florida State says, give me that, let's win. They say, well, there's a flag. We can't let this kicker celebrate, obviously. We've got to call something. Ravens try to jump over the center. It does not matter. We keep it moving. Dustin Hopkins shows up for the Browns in a big way.
Way to go, Dusty.
Way to go, Dustin. Deshaun Watson being back is sweet.
Yeah.
The entire offensive line moving. Jerome Ford for that first down. Awesome. Dustin Hopkins hitting a game winner for the Browns. Spectacular D-bud.
Absolutely. And you talk about Deshaun Watson, the way he started off this game, Kyle Hamilton tapped up, pick 6. Started off terrible. I think one of 9 to start off, and then to come back in the second half and finish 14 of 14, made some plays with his legs. This is what the Browns need. This is obviously what the Browns invested in the quarterback position. With that defense, I mean, they can win any given Sunday with that combination of offense and defense.
And the AFC North, don't look now, pretty wide open. Pretty wide open. Dustin Hopkins, too, another thing that doesn't get talked about. He was aiming left center on that particular upright that he was heading. I think he had some sort of read on the jet stream that was pushing it back to the right. His extra point that he had just missed moments before, that way, he aimed left center and then that thing hooked to the left. For him to stick with his read and hit that thing left center and then for it to tail back for a game winner, beautiful, because you miss that, you lose.
Yeah.
That's not like tie, which happened to a lot of these things. They're up 1 because of your miss. You miss that one again, probably getting fired.
Yeah.
That's probably the kicking world. Instead, he knocks it home. Browns get a big-time dub. Congrats to them. Let's talk about another walk-off, shall we?
Another?
There's 5 of these.
Holy hell.
Yeah, it was a big-time Sunday. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions being tied with the Los Angeles Chargers, 38-38. This game, sneaky, came out of nowhere to be so incredibly explosive. Anytime Justin Herbert would score with the Chargers, Jared Goff would answer. Kind of becoming the story of the Detroit Lions, the brand new Lions, is that Jared Goff will always answer. He doesn't blink. He doesn't do a damn thing. He just completes balls, and Ben Johnson has people open a lot. He's like Mike McDaniel with the play calls, Darius J. Butler.
He's an unbelievable play call, and they had a 3rd and 1 where they hit the tight end right up the seam for a touchdown. St. Brown, he's always going to dial his guys up to get open and make plays.
Pause this, please. 4th and 2 in field goal range. Okay, they're on the 27, so that would be a 45-yarder in SoFi. Easy kick for anybody that's in the NFL. That would be a 45-yard field goal for Riley Patterson. Okay, 1 minute 46 seconds left. The other team has 1 timeout. Tie ball game. Okay, field goal, put you ahead. Not with Justin Herbert on the other side, says MCDC. They've become an absolute buzzsaw. The old Lions choose to do this. Guess what happens? They don't get it.
Bingo.
1st and 10 going for the Chargers. The brand new Lions, though, as soon as we all saw this call, we go, smart call. Keep Herbert off the field. What does Ben Johnson dial up? Oh, you named it. Jared Goff, Laporta, first down. Detroit Lions. That would have been a decision, though. If that does not work.
Big time.
That would have made a lot of people go, oh, that's the same old Lions right there. 4th quarter, minute 40 left in the game. You're tied in field goal range, easily makeable kick. You don't take it. What are you trying to reinvent football? What the hell? Instead, you get MCDC jacked up. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Straight drop back, too, so you trust your quarterback. It's not like you're putting them on the edge to dial up something that's a quick throw in the flat. High-low concept. You trust your quarterback to make the right read, right throw, and he does.
And they win. Riley hits one for him. Congratulations to the Detroit Lions, get a big-time dub. Foxy, that 4th and 2, I was watching. I'm like, why are we doing this? And then I think to myself, Dan Campbell's not making a wrong decision here.
Never.
Boys, I have seen that game 1,000 times in my life, and every single time we lose that game. That is the definition of the brand new Lions. I knew MCDC was going for it. I was yelling for him to go for it. Earlier in the game, first half of that game, it's 4th and 5. We go for it on just a power run right down the middle, and we get a first down. I love this guy, and I want him to go for it on 4th down every single time. Coaching matters in the NFL. MCDC is showing that.
Yeah, but he doesn't always go for it.
Yeah,
not always.
It was absurd because the second half started, and obviously it was already a shootout in the first half, and I believe the ball was on the 37-yard line for the Lions, and they decided not to kick it. So that's why I almost thought the reason they went for it on 4th and 2 is because they didn't trust him as much. Yeah, and then Jack Fox hit the punt inside the 10. Great punt. And then
37-yarder would have been a 55-yarder. I mean, that's still a bomb. But for them to punt from there is very abnormal for this MCDC Ben Johnson offense. But he's coaching to win, man.
I love it so much. And you know what? The Chargers are the new same old Lions because I feel so bad for those guys. Herbert is like Stafford used to be. He's so close, plays so good, and they just don't win for whatever reason. It's not Herbert's fault because he was on the money the whole game.
I was about to say, he had a couple that were like,
oh, my gosh.
He was on one yesterday.
That's why I'm not concerned about the defense because Herbert's just that good.
Yeah, the whole Lions fan base, though, whenever I said, this is what MCDC just chose to do in a tweet, kind of laid it out.
Yes.
They were like, yeah, he's coaching to win. He's coaching to win. I love that he's coaching to win. You don't get that.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Did you see the throw, too?
What's that?
It wasn't like it was on the money, but boy, it was wobbling.
Yeah,
like
it was a
Peyton
vintage
ball.
golf duck.
Yeah, it was a duck.
There's a lot of completed ducks yesterday. We're about to see a couple more.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Commanders and the Seahawks. Here we go. Sneaky game.
Good game. Very good game.
Sneaky game. The Commanders have traded away everybody that's good on their defense. Hey, remember, that just happened in the last couple of days. Sam Howell, this quarterback, he's going to put it on you until the end of the game. He's a real gunslinger. He might give the ball to the other team, but he's going to make some big plays. And Geno Smith didn't have his best game, but whenever they needed it, 26-26, he finds this guy that is built like nobody else is built. He's bigger, stronger, faster, more jacked, more ripped, with sweeter earrings and sweeter hair than you. And he finds him twice to get big-time gains, lets the clock run down. Geno Smith, calm, cool, and collected. Let's go ahead and kill this. 3 seconds. Is Jason Myers going to make this kick? Yes. That's all Jason Myers does. We don't really talk about this guy ever as a weapon. Anytime this guy's on the field, the ball's going through the uprights. I think I've seen him miss 2 times.
Yeah.
In like 10 years, it feels like.
Crazy.
All he does is make kicks. It's not easy to kick up there in the Pacific Northwest either, with the wind and the sound, and every game is a big one and everything like that. He nails it for them. Congrats to the Seahawks being a part of the Week 10 walk-off bonanza. Seahawks much different this year, even though we're staring at their record right now. Very much in the mix of everything in the NFC.
Yeah, nobody expected. I can't think anyone had a high expectation for the Seahawks last year coming into the year. Obviously, this year completely different. Some people probably even picked them to win that division after all that explosiveness on offense, and then you got better on defense. So you're getting everybody's best shot week in and week out. But like you said, Geno didn't have his best game, but in the biggest moment, put his team in position to win it.
Like Geno didn't have his best game, and who cares because he led him down the field to win it in the end. But boy, there are some times where
he looks bad.
He looks like New York Jet, New York Giant Geno Smith.
Yeah, and we don't know why that is.
I have no clue.
Don't like it. Number one offense in the NFL last regular season.
Yeah.
That's really what they were. As soon as Russell Wilson got out of town, which I've been hearing some rumors about some stuff that Russell Wilson does.
Oh, what type of rumors?
Huh?
What type of rumors?
Just like more weird shit.
Oh, yeah?
Not personal, professional stuff.
Oh, okay. So not
that would make sense.
Not anything freaky.
Like allegedly, like painting the other team's logo on the practice field has to happen. Russ is the one that's kind of the driving force behind it.
Get the boys ready.
It's like, I like that. I kind of appreciate that. But I guess he stopped doing it for a couple weeks, and then is that why they lost it? And then they brought it back this week.
Okay.
So what does that mean for the Buffalo Bills? I don't know. And the reason why I say it's weird shit, I've never heard that before. So it's weird to me. I don't know if I like it or if I hate it, but I know that Russell Wilson's always doing the most. And when he's doing the most, it's like if you win, it's good. If not, it's terrible. Tonight's a big game for Russ. Let's move on. Geno Smith, great year last year. No, it's great this year. Let's go, Geno.
Go, Geno.
Keep going, Geno.
Let's go, Mountaineers. Then we have the Texans, Bengals. This one is one that makes me feel so damn good because there's a rookie quarterback down in Houston right now who's not just up for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
No.
He needs to be in the damn MVP conversation, leading the NFL in pass yards as a rookie for the first time in like forever or something. Now he goes into Joe Burrow's house, into the jungle. They say, "Welcome to the jungle. We are playing games." CJ said, "I love this. I wish it was a little bit colder because I'd like to be in a cold jungle to get back into Ohio State." Him and Joe Burrow battling, dueling. This is the brand new Joe Burrow who's back from what he was in the earlier year, part of the year where he wasn't that great. 27-27. Joe Burrow just scored. Hey, Rook, are you going to get a first down? Yes, you are. On 3rd and 6. C.J. Stroud handles every situation. He looks the guy off. He moves the defender. That guy 57 falls. You know why? Because C.J. Stroud looks to his right, then comes back to his left. He's manipulating defense. He did throw a pick earlier. His second one he's ever thrown in the NFL. People wondered if he was broken, if he'd be gunshot. Big dog.
Noah Brown.
2 weeks, 150 yards now. 2 weeks in a row. He's finding a new weapon. Nico wasn't even playing. His number one wide receiver wasn't even on the field. Need you to go make a play. Need you to have a drive for the Houston Texans to not only get us in the conversation for the AFC South, but how about the whole damn thing with the way DeMeco Ryans has the defense humming as well. And then in the end, who needs to win it for you? The kicker. 30-27. Amendola, who was kicking with Nick Novak, I believe, last week in San Diego on Instagram, looking for a job. Kaimi Fairbairn hurts himself last week. Dare Ogunbowale kicks for him. They sign Amendola, and what do you need to do? Oh, I don't know, just make a game winner in Paycor Stadium in front of a Cincinnati fan base that has been compared to colleges around the country. Congrats to the week's walk-offs. We missed the Falcons and the Cards. Matt Prater did what Matt Prater does, which is bury home a short one. And
welcome back, Kyler.
Kyler Murray is electrifying.
He was doing Kyler stuff.
We'll dive into that later. We appreciate that Kyler Murray's back playing football, but joining us right now is a man who might have more information about a lot of stuff happening around the NFL. He's a Michigan man, so that just has to be said. Like, senior NFL insider for ESPN, Adam Schefter.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Pat, very interesting. You were talking about the Texans and Dare Ogunbowale. The great part about that last week when he kicked that field goal, what people missed out on is that day, Dameon Pierce was out with an ankle injury. And because he was out, the only reason that Dare Ogunbowale was active was because Pierce was out. If Pierce had been up that day, Ogunbowale would not have been up, and they would not have had a backup kicker. So Dameon Pierce's injury that day actually saved the Texans and allowed Dare Ogunbowale to become something of a little bit of a legend down there, kicking the field goal. Yesterday had a huge special teams tackle, levels a guy. Love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that happens when you're having the kind of season that the Texans are, and they become exciting and relevant and fun to watch with C.J. Stroud leading the way.
Hey, great job bouncing back, too, with the way you pronounced his name that one time.
Right, yeah, great work.
You were so wrong. I don't think I've ever heard somebody more wrong about a name. And then just 6 seconds later, nails it. Yep. And then back at it. Shefty, that's big-time stuff right there. That's why this is JSPN Journalism Sports Network. Let's dive into some journalism. I saw Derek Carr's head get removed from his body yesterday in a close-up fashion. Jameis Winston comes back. What are we thinking about for Derek Carr and the Saints, and what does the future look like there? Is this Jimbo's team now all of a sudden?
Well, we have a bye week for the Saints, so they get a bye to get ready, and I would imagine if and when after the bye happens, Carr passes through concussion protocol, has an extra week to rest his shoulder, he'll have a chance to be ready. But if not, Jameis looked like he brought a little bit of spark and juice to that team. It's fun to watch Jameis. Games seem to be a bit more adventurous when he plays. Now, I would think it'll be Carr's job, but let's see what happens when they come back from the bye. They've got a week to sort through those decisions.
Let's stay in the NFC South. Another quarterback injury. Taylor Heineke goes down. Desmond Ridder comes back in, plays good football.
Yeah.
Thought he was going to have his moment. Thought Artie Smith was going to be able to be happy.
Yeah.
Nope, that is not the case. Cards walk right down the field and steal it from him. Desmond Ridder back in the lineup. He plays well. What does that mean for the future, you think, down there?
Well, he's got a hamstring injury, Heineke does. And Ridder came on, and you could see after the game, Arthur Smith, guest of the program, friend of the show, seemed to kind of support Desmond Ridder, as he has all along. And we'll see what he decides to do. It sounds like with the hamstring injury, they're going to have to turn back to Ridder. So he's going to have to stand by him and support him, because typically when players get hamstrings, it's usually a little bit of time. I would imagine that might be the case with Heineke. We'll see. And they're going to have to turn back to Ridder. And I think everybody was happy yesterday that Bijan got involved, right? That's always a topic du jour down in Atlanta. So people are happy about that. We'll see what he decides to do at quarterback, too.
What's the topic du jour? It's the topic of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds good.
Like the soup du jour, the topic du jour.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were going to go from a Goomba Wale to du jour here in a matter of a few questions.
Oui, grazie. I mean, things are really going here. Let's talk about another quarterback situation. If Josh, let's just hypothetical. Hey, hypothetical Monday.
Okay. Nice.
All right.
Welcome. Welcome to Hypothetical Monday.
Woo!
Go ahead.
Josh Dobbs. Okay. Let's say they do something here. Let's say they go on and do something special here. Because I don't know, was that an update on Josh Dobbs there? Is this a good question? Good time?
Not the pastronaut. Nothing about him. No.
Okay, sick. Great nickname, too. Josh Dobbs, though, we just assume he's going to go undefeated with Kevin O'Connell. I just assume that's how this is going to work out. Kirk Cousins' deal is up. Has there been a conversation with Dobbs when he got traded in, like, hey, there's a chance this is a long-term deal for you as well because we have no quarterback long-term? Or how do you think it kind of plays out, and what do you think the future with Dobbs, if they do continue to have the great success that they're currently having for 2 weeks? It's only been 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. But if he goes on to do some real shit here with the Vikings, what is the decision to be made there for them, you think? How do they lean?
Well, that's amazing, right? And he kind of went through this in Arizona. The Cardinals trade for him, and everyone's kind of mocking it initially, like they're trading for Josh Dobbs. You're starting Josh Dobbs? Whoa. Josh Dobbs is playing pretty well. Can he unseat Kyler Murray? And then he kind of came back to earth a bit, and they wound up giving him away to Minnesota. And now he goes to Minnesota. Let me just say this. Watching him the last 2 weeks is like watching Steve McNair run around, make plays, be an MVP. The guy's been unbelievable. It's hard for me to process that this is his 9th NFL team, that the Browns traded him, the Cardinals traded him. He's on his 3rd team of the season just this year, and he looks like he's a Pro Bowl quarterback out there. He's been unbelievable, and he's on an expiring contract, which makes it all the more interesting. This is not a shot at Josh Dobbs. I love what he's doing, love watching the guy. He's been as good as anybody when he's been out there, but he's got to sustain it over the rest of the season to have the type of decision I think that you're talking about at the end of the day. If he maintains this and keeps this up, yeah, it's hard to move on from that guy, right? I think there were people in Minnesota that wanted a mobile quarterback, which is why some of this Kirk Cousins conversation even came up to begin with. And so Dobbs brings this different element to that team. They have responded to him the way the Raiders have responded to Antonio Pierce the last 2 weeks. These two guys are lighting it up in their own respective professions. And there he is yesterday. They're showing him where his locker is in the locker room. He doesn't know. So the week before he comes in, he leads the team to victory. Josh, this is the Wilfs. They own the team. Oh, nice to meet you, Mr. Wilf.
He didn't know guys on the field's name. He didn't know guys on the field's name.
Well, yeah, we know that, right? But he meets the owner after the win for the first time. Yesterday, he shows up in the locker. Where's my locker? After he led the team to a win, and now he's out, and he's got them to 2 wins in 2 straight weeks. They've won 5 straight. Who needs Justin Jefferson when you got Josh Dobbs out there throwing strikes and bombs everywhere? Like T.J. Hawkinson in the first half yesterday was unbelievable. And Josh Dobbs, I can't believe it. I'm watching this guy that nobody else was interested, that nobody else wants to hold on to him, that he's been through 9 teams, and he's lighting it up. It's unbelievable to me.
We're all incredibly fascinated by it because it's like, if you're not the team's guy, even if you play good, do you even have a real opportunity? It kind of is exposing a little bit of an NFL thing that happens at a lot of positions, let alone the quarterback position, where it's like, if you're not the GM's guy, or if you're not the front office's chosen one, do you really have an opportunity to do your thing? It's like, feels like Josh Dobbs over the last few months has proven like he could be a guy. Yeah. Will somebody let him be one? Hopefully it's Minnesota.
You know what? Here's the thing. I went back to a couple of teams and I said, why is nobody sticking with this guy? I asked that question. And somebody said to me, this guy is an unbelievable guy. Aces is a guy, just the kind of guy you want on your team.
Aces.
Not always accurate. So I remember that statement. I'm watching the guy throw dimes. And I'm like, this guy's accurate to me. Like, how? I'm just telling you what people thought in the past.
Yeah.
Not accurate. I watched that. He's accurate. He's accurate. And he's the kind of guy I want on my team. And so it just makes it's a great story to watch, and everybody's rooting for the guy. And he plays the Broncos on Sunday, and they got a little bit of a running back issue now this week because they lost Cam Akers last week to the torn Achilles. They lost Alexander Madison to concussion yesterday. They're signing back Myles Gaskin, who went to the Rams, is now going back to Minnesota. And the starting running back on Sunday might just be Ty Chandler, who, by the way, looked like he was shot out of a cannon yesterday, like exploding through the line. Like, it doesn't matter who they plug in Minnesota. Everybody's great. Everybody's great. Everybody's doing their job. Like, oh, yeah, Justin Jefferson's gone. Jordan Addison, all world. Okay. Kirk Cousins is gone. Josh Dobbs, lighting it up. Oh, Alexander Madison, you're concussed. Ty Chandler, you take this handoff and you explode through and you go score a touchdown. Everybody does it. Like, I feel like if they called on you, Pat, you'd be lighting it up and going to the Hall of Fame here.
Yeah, you're damn right. I mean, that feels like that's the Kevin O'Connell touch. But if you remember at the beginning of the year, football gods were not blessing the Minnesota Vikings. No. There was tips, there was overthrows, there was losses. It was like last year they were 11-0 in 3-point games. This year they started 0-4 or something like that. Couldn't get it. Now the football gods seem to be all the way back in their favor. And I think all anybody's asking is Josh Dobbs is the patronized, can you take me higher? Love it,
that
Josh.
Was awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right, let's go to some other teams that have some updates. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Yeah, I'll stick with the running backs. Devon Achane down there in Miami. I know they activated him. Is he all the way back?
I think he's going to be back. I expect that he'll play this week. It sounds like he was tracking to do that. They sounded enthused. He's got to get through the week of practice first, and they'll make sure that he's okay. And that's another guy you're excited to see because when he was out there, woof, you talk about fast. That guy was blast off, and he makes that offense that much more explosive. So they opened the practice window for him today. He'll be back out there, and assuming no setbacks, I would think he'll be out there on Sunday against the Raiders and Antonio Pierce.
Okay, that's big news.
Yeah.
That is big news for that Miami Dolphins team. Also, the Hard Knocks in-season trailer came out for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Oh,
it's going to be good. It looks
next week. It debuts next week, right? Next Tuesday, the 21st.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, I think. Only on Max. Oh, Max.
Max.
Max. Max.
Max.
Not HBO.
Wait, what's that?
No.
Oh, HBO. Okay.
No.
You sack of wine.
Max. Drop the
Can't keep up.
Drop the HBO.
Bingo.
That's what they did. So it's just Max Plus. Okay. Anyways, it's going to be awesome. I think NFL Films got one, and it feels like Miami's all the way in on it, and it's been an exciting season. A couple tough questions coming right down the pike here. Go ahead, Connor.
Well, let me guess. I can guess them. Ready? You want to guess them in advance?
Go ahead.
One's going to be Bill Belichick. One's going to be Zach Wilson.
Okay, well, Certainly 2 of the 6.
Yeah.
I mean, there is. We have a new seg. We have a new seg for you, but let's start with the Bill Belichick seg.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Shefty, why don't you shut your trap? I'm interviewing you, okay? I'm asking the questions around here. You're not telling me what they are. It's time.
But they are.
But they are. Let's put your ass on the hot seat about the hot seat in the NFL right now, Shefty. You mentioned it. Bill Belichick, of course. He is on the hot seat. But Brandon Staley, it seems as though his seat's getting a little hotter. Artie Smith, we were down in Georgia, and boy, oh boy, those fans are getting loud about Artie Smith. And then even tonight with McDermott going and the things in Buffalo happening as they are all these guys kind of in that hot seat territory? Would you put only Bill in the hot seat because that's the one that you thought we were talking strictly about? But where would you rank all 4 of those guys? And are all 4 of those guys definitely going to be head coaches for those teams next year?
See, I think before I was told to shut my trap there, I think you expanded the question and branched out beyond Belichick with all those other guys. I think we're going to go down a Belichick path. But I think these are the guys. Look, we're in the time of the year where teams are making a playoff push or their coach, I think, obviously becomes the most interesting topic of almost any NFL story right now, and what a decorated franchise and an accomplished owner and an historic coach all decide to do at the end of the season. And we don't know how that's going to go. None of us know how that's going to go, but everybody's waiting to see. And the fact that it is even a topic is what makes it so interesting. Brandon Staley, we've heard these questions for a while now. They have to win, I think, to answer them. And as long as they don't win, then it's going to come up. The last few weeks, they won. We didn't hear anything about it. They lose yesterday. Here we go. Brandon Staley. Arthur Smith, I don't know. Like, again, they lost yesterday. And they lost the week before to Josh Dobbs. So they're coming up 2 losses. So we're going to put them on the hot seat today. That's the way it goes in the NFL.
Oh, he's been on. Check the mentions. Don't search Arthur Smith on X right now.
It's bad.
He's a friend of the program. We love him. It's not good.
Yeah, I think people, a lot of that is they're all angry about the way Bijan's being used. Some Falcons fans, some fancy football managers, like they see this team with this talent. Like last week when they were playing the Vikings, they got down to the 1-yard line, 4 plays. You got the 8th overall pick. Bijan didn't touch it. Didn't touch it once.
Yeah.
Right? And so the people that have
he gave
him
a
on
5-minute answer about it. Remember, he gave a 5-minute answer about it. He was like, sometimes it's supposed to and it doesn't. All right? Get off my ass. Pretty much is what he said for 5 minutes.
Yes.
It was, but we were down there. You alluded to it. We were in Athens, which is an hour and a half from Atlanta. I think there's a lot of Falcons fans down there.
A lot of them.
Oh, he is not beloved down there.
No.
Well, here's the problem. So he's not beloved down there amongst their fans. And I'm just telling you, all the people that drafted Bijan Robinson and we're living in a fancy football universe, they're all pissed off at him too, because this guy's out there and he's not doing what they expected, right? Like that game. We've got a guy, we're in an ESPN league. We play for, amongst our colleagues and friends. And it became like a source of amusement that they're not handing the football to Bijan Robinson at the 1-yard line. You got this guy that is incredibly gifted, talented, that was worthy of the 8th overall pick. And he's not even on the field at a time where they could put the game away with a touchdown.
I bet that group text is lit.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
So lit. One coach not being chatted about, maybe on the hot seat, Dayball, should we?
By the way, I'll tell you what, Pat. New York, you've been here before, right?
A couple times, yeah.
New York has great pizza. Great pizza.
Very cheap, good pizza. Yeah. Very cheap, good pizza.
Great bagels, right? Yeah, but we don't do touchdowns very well in New York here between the Jets and Giants.
Bro, those Jets stats that are coming out are remarkable. They are like 36 consecutive drives with no touchdown, I think is what Hembo put up this morning on Get Up for the New York Jets. And then 14 of the last 17 games that Nathaniel Hackett has called plays, there's only been 1 touchdown or fewer or something like that. It's like we did not check this from Andrew Mason. He has been covering the NFL for a while, has a lot of followers. We assume it's true. We assume what he's saying is true.
Andrew Mason's a friend of mine. He is a very smart guy.
Okay, so we're assuming Nathaniel Hackett's last 17 games as play caller, his offense have generated 1 or fewer touchdowns 14 times. And I'm telling you, there's more stats to say this guy has no clue what he's doing.
Stinks.
This guy's got no. You watch that Jets game, it's like, damn, this sucks, which will lead to Ty's question. But let's stay in New York. Let's go to the Giants on America's Game of the Week.
Yep.
Game of the week. We got the Cowboys blowing out the Giants and having to watch that Giants team. Now, shout out to Dak bouncing back.
Oh, yeah.
Baby Dak. They're still playing great. And CD's unstoppable, which is good news for them going forward. And the defense seemingly hunting. I mean, they are hunting again. So it's all good for the Dallas Cowboys. But on the opposite side, Wink Martindale and Daboll, I think we all had high hopes and aspirations because how good they both are as coaches and have been for what they did last year. This year, they're only going to get better. They suck. Hey, they're bad. And no Daniel Jones, obviously, but they suck over there. What's next for them, you think, Schefter?
Well, as we said, right, last year, Joe Shane himself, the GM, said in this city, you go from Bono to Bozo real quick. And last year, he was Bono, and this year, he's Bozo. That's the way it goes. Everything they've done has gone wrong. Nobody stayed healthy. All the decisions have not worked. Nobody's played well. And the season's become like a dumpster fire for them. And now you're just trying to get through it, endure it, and then move on. Right now, I think they're scheduled to have the second overall pick in the draft, as it is today. And let's be frank and honest, like that's the hope and that's the saving grace of the season, that they're going to go into the draft and they're going to get a great, great player and have a chance to have somebody real special. But they're going to have some misery to endure for the rest of the way. And during the course of all that misery, when you've lost all these guys, there are going to be questions about Brian Daboll and Joe. It's going to come up. It just has to, because they've been so bad this year and the season's gone so south so quickly. So bad year to be a New York Giants football fan. Last year was great. This year, not so much.
That guy Frank is always telling it how it is, too. Anytime we beat him, let's be frank. That son of a bitch is a straight shooter.
That's right.
Isn't he? Frank is.
Oh, yeah.
Frank will keep it right down the middle. Let's be frank. Let's be frank more.
I agree.
Let's be frank more.
Yes.
Ty has a question for you. You're going to love it. You predicted it.
Yeah, Schefter, you mentioned Zach Wilson. And when you look at all the stuff with Nathaniel Hackett, obviously it seems like he may stink at his job. But at what point are the Jets just going to cut bait? Like, we heard Rodgers basically say, hey, I'm shooting for a potential mid-December return. Like, I know Saleh said, like, hey, he's our guy. He gives us the best chance to win. It's very clear, like, when you watch the game, like, this guy does not give them the best chance to win. Like, he's just, and it's not necessarily his fault, but, like, are we just going to keep doing the same song and dance where Saleh basically lies to the media and everyone and says, like, hey, we're sticking with this guy. Everyone believes him, even though post-game you got guys like Garrett Wilson basically crying in the locker room because he's saying, like, I just want the offense to be better. I want someone who could throw me the ball. Like, is there any chance they're going to start Trevor Siemian or someone else so that when Rodgers potentially does return, they're not like 4-10 and it's a moot point because they're out of the playoff picture?
Well, see, that's the whole thing. Unless they do their job, they're going to blow up the Aaron Rodgers comeback. Because why is he coming back if they're eliminated from the playoffs? And they have got to find a way to keep it close. Now, they could continue to stick with Zach Wilson, and maybe they will. That has been the unwavering stance of the organization since the night that Rodgers went down with the ruptured Achilles. They have not publicly vacillated off that at all. Everybody else is wondering when they're going to turn to Trevor Siemian to give this team a spark. Now, you can't look at that game last night and say that Trevor Siemian couldn't provide some kind of spark. Now, I don't know that he'd be better, but it might be worth a shot. They have not indicated up until now that they're willing to do that. I think everybody else is just waiting for this team to get some sort of injection of life, some sort of injection, and hoping and thinking that maybe Trevor Siemian can be the guy, because they've got to find a way to win a couple of these games to make it so that Aaron Rodgers' potential comeback is relevant. If they keep losing, he could want to come back in mid-December all he wants. Yeah. Why is he coming back if they're 4-8, 4-9? There's no reason for him to put himself out there behind that offensive line and risk himself when you should be getting ready for next season if they're out of the playoffs for this season. They need a spark right now. Yeah. So they could continue to stick with that all they want. But the fact of the matter is, everybody in New York, outside of that organization is waiting for them to make a change and to see if there's somebody that can inject some life into this offense that hasn't had much in recent weeks.
Garrett Wilson has been doing well for our fantasy team.
Yeah, he's still doing very well.
And I think Zach threw for 230 or something like that. But you're right. I'm not around as many Jets fans as you on a day-to-day because you live over there. Boy, the Jets fans I know send hilarious text messages about the state of the Jets and their thoughts about Zach Wilson. They don't like him. They do not like him. Hitting a little hezzy on Max Crosby, though. BYU Pro Day.
Oh, yeah. Very athletic.
Hail Mary. I mean, that was a nice little play. And then if he stays in bonds there, all these 36 consecutive things, it's an interesting scene over there. Aaron didn't throw in warm-ups last night. Hey, that was a storyline. We'll ask him about tomorrow, journalism. We'll ask him about tomorrow. Speaking of journalism, tonight, what should we be thinking about? What is there anything that we have not maybe hit upon or anything that we haven't really focused upon about this Broncos-Bills game that we need to think before +7 going to the Denver Broncos on the road in Western New York?
Yeah, well, what's interesting is the Broncos feel like they've got a little bit of life, and they feel like they have begun to find themselves here. Now, we'll find out tonight if that's true. But, Sean Payton's telling the team, after they beat the Chiefs, who scares you now? If you could beat Kansas City, which had beaten the Broncos 16 straight games, who scares them? If they could beat the Chiefs and almost beat them in Kansas City a couple of weeks before, then why can't they play with anybody? So we'll find out whether or not they can continue to build off that coming off their bye week. By the way, their first game since the bye week. The Bills, they've looked off. They have not looked.
What's going on up there, Schefter? You've heard something. There's been a lot of things that have been said. Basically, it's I think outside looking in, there's something going on in the locker room.
Yes.
I don't know what it is. There's something going on in the locker room. You're hearing the same thing.
Well, I'm not telling you there's something going on in the locker room. Well, there's got to be something going on in the locker room, of course. But these are not the Bills that we've seen. They're not playing at the same level. They're not functioning on defense without some of those guys that they lost to injury. The offense just seems a little bit. It's just not what we're used to seeing from them. So it's early. Are they going to be able to get that back, or are they going to continue to flounder like this and raise questions and leave people wondering what are the issues that are afflicting the team?
Just like the hey, whatever's going on, leave it there. And then the other things that are said about it, it's like there's something going on up there. Hope they figure it out because we love the Buffalo Bills. Just like we love chatting with you every single week. Thank you for making time, boss.
On behalf of Dari Agumbawale, I'm going to have my soup du jour right now. Have a great Monday, man.
Grazie, prego, Adam Schefter. Hey, that was okay. We got some stuff there.
Okay.
See, there's a little juice there.
Yeah, a little juice.
He even dropped in du jour, made us feel super sophisticated.
Like that.
Him saying, are we talking Bill Belichick or Zach Wilson? That was a great thought. I mean, there's big questions. Why don't you find the answers for us? At some point, he will. Next hour is huge, by the way, because we have, ladies and gentlemen, boom, Pete Thamel join us. Boom, Pete Thamel. Now, obviously, Verizon is the greatest of all time, and we can't thank them enough for being aboard. I forget the stats that they have, but they cover everywhere. And if you're not using them, get on board now. Okay? Get on board now with the Verizon coverage.
200 million people, and it continues to grow.
Yeah, shout out to Verizon.
A lot of people. Try free for 30 days.
Shout out to Verizon, dude. Thank you, Verizon.
Thank you, Verizon. Love you, Verizon.
That little mini marquee's sick, too.
Yes, it is.
Verizon's concept.
Oh, yeah.
We use it for others, but Verizon was like, how about a little baby marquee? We're like, good idea.
Smart.
Verizon's got this thing figured out. We can't thank them enough. Next hour, AJ Hawk, Pete Thamel. More stories, more combos. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 3.
He's saying don't go off the top. It's too shallow.
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up. They start shaking it. They go, whoa. Hey, when things are going good, they say, yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis, His dad was a quarterback at Texas.
Yeah.
His grandpa was a quarterback at Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis. Hey. Yeah, boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able to. What sign am I going to make for College Game Day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. You're headed right for the boat. Right now? Okay, let's do it. We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do that. It's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! A lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair.
It was like 5 feet. I'm standing there. That's full commitment, by the way.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Monday, November 13th, 2023. Hour 2 of this program starts now.
Football.
Happened all weekend. It's happening tonight. We'll be chit-chatting about it all. Joining me, the Toxic Table, at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Shout out to the Sea Turtles.
Shout out Sea Turtles. Hate those plastic straws, though.
Yeah.
Paper excuse
straws.
Me. Hate the plastic, too.
Because.
Don't want to kill the environment or the turtles.
So let's figure out something that's easier.
Please.
Easier to make, easier to ship, easier to be everywhere. Feels like the plastic straws kind of have that all figured out.
Yeah,
you know, the
big time.
pipeline logistics into every single place. But if we can figure out something that doesn't do that to the Sea Turtles, which there's people that say that's not real either. But hey, listen, I'm just telling you what people, this is not me saying it. I'm I'm observing and reporting what other people say. The paper straws need to be done. We cannot be doing that anymore.
It's kind of like a turf versus grass argument. We need kind of a super straw.
Super straw,
Just
yeah.
like super grass.
Somebody needs to make a super straw.
Yes.
Because you think of paper, what do you think? Oh, arch nemesis, liquid.
Water. Yeah.
That's kind of how it goes. And then we go, boom, let's put it in as a straw. It's like, that's the worst idea that I've ever heard in my entire life.
Brutal.
And we all have experienced it. We all hate it. We get it. But somebody will be able to figure out something for those beautiful, majestic creatures on your chest.
Wood
I
is
sure
the
hope
answer.
so.
It's wood.
Yeah, but like, that's the thing. So now, paper straws, we're not even talking about how many trees are getting cut down.
Yeah, how about that? Killing the environment.
Whoa.
A lot of them.
Oh, I guess we don't need air on Earth anymore.
That's one half of the hammer. Dahn, Cowboys Tone Diggs. Photosynthesis is a big deal.
Thank you.
9-year NFL vet, a man who is the host of the Man to Man podcast and everything DB, has played every position in the secondary in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Butler.
That boy, Jimbo!
Sweet onesie there.
Best fit he's ever had.
Sweet.
Can you do one of these?
I'll take it. What's it?
Swooshy.
Nah, it's not good for the mic.
No. Yeah, in this particular case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome
Nice.
wearing a swooshy jacket.
Yeah.
Back in the day, those swooshy pants were everything.
So
The best.
Remember, I heard you walk in today, actually.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like my Halloween fit.
Oh, yeah, dope boy. Yeah. I don't think that's the case. You look
No.
awesome right now. You don't look like a drug dealer.
No.
No, you look awesome right now. Joining us now is a man who I cannot wait to see this.
So
College
pumped.
football national champion, Super Bowl champion,
Yeah.
Ryder Cup winner, guy who's the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. He's beaten COVID a few times, father of 10, and from what I've been told, will look a little different today.
What? How?
He's been through some shit you would never understand. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron James Hawk. Dude! Did you get beat up? Who beat your ass? Jim Harbaugh beat the hell out of you?
Wow.
What? Are you okay?
I was hoping you guys might not notice, but I thought it might be a bit of a distraction today. But yeah, I look at this.
Dude!
Oh, my
I
God.
got a straight eye patch put on this morning. Yeah, not a long story. Bent down to pick up Axel. He threw his arms up so fast, his thumb went about 6 inches deep into my eyeball, and his nail chopped off part of my eye, I guess, or whatever. And they tried to fight through it, tried to figure it out, dropped my kids off at school, and then went to the doctor, and he said, "Oh yeah, a third of your cornea is gone. There's a big divot out of there." So hopefully I can get this patch off tomorrow, though.
Are you blind?
I doubt it, pal. A third of
I
your
can't see anything. No, I can barely see anything. Yeah.
So he's not blind, obviously. One eye's covered, of course. But are you going to be blind forever? Like, is this going to recover? Did they say?
Oh
cornea?
no, it's going to regrow. We'll be good.
Are you sure of that? Or is that you just like
Nope,
talking?
I'm not sure of anything. I'm not sure of anything right now. But that's the plan, man. It's going to be great. This is good. I told you last night. I texted you. I said I might have a bit of an eye situation tomorrow, and that's before I knew any of this. I just knew I couldn't open my eye, and it was bright red inside, and it burned all night.
I will say that is terrible. I wish that upon no human. When I get a little hair in my eye, I am so mad. It's
the worst.
It is so uncomfortable. It is a very difficult thing to go through, so I apologize. I did tease earlier, like, hey, I think AJ's going to look a little different because this is the first time you've ever texted me and said, something happened. First time ever.
Wow.
First time this has ever happened. So
That was last night, too, before anyone knew anything. They just thought, like, I was at one of my son's flag football games, and it was the very beginning of the game when I got jabbed, and I knew instantly, like, this is not a normal eye poke, man. And people would come up and talk to me. I was like, I'm just telling you, I'm not crying. I got an eyeball situation thing going on.
I'm not high, okay?
I'm moving it on. Yeah.
I don't have pink eye. I haven't been around any butts. I'm not high. I'm not crying. I'm not emotional like Michigan coach.
Yeah.
You're allowed to show your emotion.
That's right.
A lot of people say that's wild the way you reacted, but hey, that's passion.
Yeah.
You had to tell,
hard to win a football game.
it's hard winning a football game, especially you get an opportunity like that, especially with the passing of the head coach.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right. Mm-hmm.
Like that whole thing. But like you having to explain that and say, no, just Axel just thumbed my eye or whatever, I assume got annoying. And the fact you lost a third of your cornea, is that what you said?
Yeah, he the guy, put my eye in there, and he looked, and he's like, "Phew, okay, yep, here we go." He got the patch out, and he's like, you know what he did ask me, though? He said, "Do you have to be seen in public today?" And I said, yeah, kind of. And he said, "Okay, well, hopefully meet me at 8 a.m. tomorrow in my office, and hopefully we can take this off."
Okay, so there is a little bit of like a doctor who said maybe tomorrow this thing's all healed back up, even though you got a third of your cornea ripped off.
Good enough to take the patch off, I guess, tomorrow. Whatever kind of healing you can get overnight. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Hey, and shout out to those glasses. Those what are these?
Oh, bro.
The
bifocals.
The
transition.
The part that's here. These things.
The
like
frame.
The legs.
The frame.
He's barely even fit my giant
That's what I'm
head.
saying.
He's
They're hanging on for dear
reached my-
life. What is this part called here? The thing that goes around your ear?
I honestly have no idea.
Me neither. I was just trying to find the word.
I have no idea.
I was going to call it the legs of it, but
I think legs place. Yeah.
the legs are hanging on for dear life there. Maybe you go to a gas station, pick up some of Connor's sunglasses for tomorrow if it's going to be the new you. What if your sunglasses, AJ Hawk? That'd be sick.
Send you some.
Maybe. We'll see what happens, man. I don't know. I've tried a couple different pairs. Trust me, none of them fit. Especially, I have an old school eye patch, too, I could put over it. Then no glasses fit.
We need that part.
Yeah. Need it now.
I'll see, but
Well, you
I tell you
won't.
what, they don't make those. They don't make those for extra large heads either because the thing adjusts and it is so tight on my head still.
So the hinge, the temple, and the temple tip is the name of these things. I'm
That's
talking.
not right.
Yeah, that seems interesting. I'm talking about the one that says temple is the one that I'm talking.
Yeah, I'm looking at a different one. It also is calling that the temple.
Okay.
Things make sense to me.
Because your temple's right there, right?
Yeah.
Happy Axel didn't get your temple.
Yeah,
Which part is the cornea?
That's the one, right?
That's in the inside, correct?
It like covers it covers your eyeball and stuff.
It's like the center.
Like the
Whatever it is, it was
your eye.
bleeding all night long. Yeah, it was brutal.
Did you look like Saban? That eye look like Saban's?
No, I couldn't even. Like I tried to open it enough. Well, I walked into the doctor's office this morning, and the lady goes, "Oh, okay, you let me give you some numbing drops," because I looked, both eyes were just shot because I guess the left eye's trying to make up for it. I don't know. And she got some numbing drops in my eye so I could open it enough to get examined. But those only last for 15 minutes.
So the cornea is the clear outermost layer of the eyeball.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So it's right there in front of it. It is protecting what you're looking out of. And a third of it now gone because of one of his kids, whose name is Axel. Actual name.
Menace.
Ripped it off. Axel Hawk. Okay. Not a bad name.
No, great.
Does he feel bad about this?
Yeah, does Axel know?
Axel does know. He does not feel bad at all. They don't know I have the patch, so that was not a safe drive to school today. I drove him to school today before I got the patch when I couldn't see out either eye.
Safe.
Yeah, we said, we talked. Like, I'm probably not driving tonight. I don't have carpool tonight, luckily, for my daughter's basketball. Right. But they don't. Axel doesn't know. The other kids know. My daughter already told him when I couldn't see last night. You did this to him, Axel. You did this to Dad.
Oh, he might live with this forever.
Yeah.
Oh my God! No, get that out of his mind.
Yeah,
don't let him think about this.
When he comes home and he sees the patch, then that might.
You did this to me. Let him know.
I think he's all right.
This was you.
You pop that boy. You did this to me. Look at this. This is because of you. Make him think about that for the rest of his life. You know, AJ, make him think about that for the rest of his life. Axel Hawk's going to do some of these things.
Yeah.
We knew that.
Yeah.
You knew that. You signed up for that when you named him Axel.
That's right.
That's just how it goes.
It was incidental, definitely incidental eye poke, but if someone in my family was going to do it, it was definitely going to be the youngest, Axel, no question.
Charge it to the game.
Yeah.
That's going to happen when you got a kid named Axel Hawk. There's going to be some downside, but the upside,
Oh, yeah.
Axel Hawk wins another football game with 50 tackles.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. Hey, AJ, thank you for fighting through adversity today.
I love it. It's a new adversity I've never faced, so it's going to be fun to come through this one.
Yeah, you kind of having your vision in stereo is also awesome. I'm sure that's not going to get annoying at all. And you're a danger behind the wheel already. I couldn't imagine not being able to see 50% of the road. But hey, keep driving with both feet out there. Keep driving with both feet. Let's talk about, did you get to see one half of the Packers? Yeah. Did you get to see the Packers? Only when they were going one way? So when, it's going to be hard not to do that. It's going to be hard not to just make fun of you not being able to see the entire picture.
Oh, you can't. I'm okay with it. I'm completely fine with it.
Well, it's not fair. Okay, it's not fair. Did you see the Packers? What were your thoughts on the Packers versus Steelers? Obviously, massive. Hey, couple big picks there. Patrick Peterson with a big one, and then that crazy Casey, he gets a game winner after Minkah Fitzpatrick pretty much told the defensive coordinator, what are you doing? Look at this clip here going into the final play of the game, fourth quarter, 3 seconds left. Packers obviously doing their thing. You think the timeout is called just strictly because it's like a Kodak. Want to get a picture of what the Packers think their best play is. But then you get a shot of the sideline. It's Minkah talking to D coordinator. What are you doing? What are you doing? What the hell are you doing? What are we even thinking about? Tomlin, mind his own business. I don't know what's going on behind me, but I know it's something. Mark Caboli would come out after the game and say, boom, there's that Casey would have picked. They had a similar one against
Will Levis, Tennessee Titans.
the Steelers can get the ball. Danny Smith, special teams coordinator, got absolutely slaughtered on the sideline right there. Our sources are telling us he walked in this morning, 6:45 a.m., per norm, chewing a lot of gum, too much gum.
Hell yeah.
He didn't even know that happened after the game. Charge it to the game. Danny Smith gets taken out. Mark Caboli, though, came out and basically wrote an article about that Minkah Fitzpatrick moment where Minkah said he and the secondary coach, corner coach, disagreed with the call that Austin had, which was man in that particular situation, and said, hey, we need to get this thing back. They end up changing the play call, getting a game-winning pick. So now we just assume Minkah Fitzpatrick needs to be calling the plays every single time. AJ, your thoughts on this? And also the Packers losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers become the first team since 1939 to be outgained in every single game and still have a 6-3 record or whatever the case is. It's phenomenal what Tomlin's able to do.
Yeah, it is. So I thought this was going to be one of those comebacks, come from behind, basically, where Jordan Love kind of, he became a dude. this is one thing he could use as a springboard to, some momentum forward. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time taking myself serious. I catch a glimpse out of my left eye of myself, but that's fine. I'll figure that out. Where are you going? I hope you're sitting somewhere different because it looks like it to me.
No, come on, get to it.
What do you think about the call, though? Hey, what do you think about Minkah? So I love Minkah dying for his guys, thinking, hey, if I'm out there, this is what we need to do. Let's line up at the goal line, and let's make sure we don't back up. And if they catch the ball in front of us, we'll make a tackle. And, hey, let's just get a pick and end this thing.
Yeah, I love that. Guy, obviously one of their leaders being out with an injury, but still been a part of the game, hearing the call and actually doing something about it. Hey, coach, don't like that. Let's change it. It makes sense. In that situation, it's so hard for the quarterback when everybody's lined up on that picket fence to make a good throw. You make a throw, they rally and tackle. If you throw it anywhere near the end zone, you can make a play on the ball. So I love that. From Minkah, actually not only hearing it and feeling some type of way, but then going, taking an extra step.
We can't be doing that. No. He had a little vein in his neck was going. You knew he was sick. Now, it might have been loud down there in Acrisure.
True.
As it was loud, so he had to talk loud. But him going down there and being adamant about it not only shows the respect that Austin has for him, right? Because Minkah's not doing that if he doesn't think that he's not going to be heard, obviously. But, also them changing the play call and going, the decoy, okay. Okay. Everybody get off my ass.
Jesus.
We just got a pick from this guy 3 minutes ago. You don't think I know what I'm doing? You don't think I know what I'm doing? And Minkah's like, excuse me, we have the play. This is the play. Let's go ahead and run it. I appreciate Minkah stepping up and doing it. And you said him taking the actually going and saying it.
Yeah, and like you said, knowing you have that respect, he's earned that to be able to do that on that sideline. He's been around. He's been played all the positions, coached by Saban. So coming into the league, he was a smart guy. So once again, loves him still having an impact even when he's not in pass.
Tone, this had to get you almost 6 to midnight, baby.
Listen, when I saw Minkah do it, I immediately tweeted,
hard.
Just let Minkah call
so hard.
Diamond in an ice storm.
Oh my God.
Cutting glass.
Sorry about it. We're talking about you yesterday. We're trying to describe the
It's a
situation.
compliment, Tone.
No, I know. It's true. It's exactly what happened. But
Platinum. Isn't that the hardest one? Platinum.
Oh, yeah. Unobtainium.
No, I think platinum's horror and diamond. That's why it's platinum. I think. I'm not 100% sure.
They're both on the.
You weren't a tin can. We know that.
No, not flaccid.
But no, I actually trust Minkah more.
You're one of the steel straws.
Yeah,
we're talking about that metal straw.
Steel mill in Pittsburgh.
That's a myth, too. The straws in the old turtle situation, that's a myth. That didn't really happen. That's just
okay. Can't do that now.
You're Ohio.
People are hearing this now. We used to be able to get away with this type of stuff on the internet, but now we're on JSPN, Journalism Sports Network, a place that has never said anything false about anything.
Nope.
You can't be saying that type of stuff, AJ.
Come
on.
Okay. I definitely take it back then.
Thank God.
Thank you. He was halfway in on that one.
That was a close one.
Anyways, Pittsburgh Steelers get a big-time pick to end that game. Defense ends up doing it for him. Matthew America down on the sideline, 2-0. How do you feel about this Steelers squad?
Yeah, it was huge at the end of the game, the 2 picks, because they were just letting guys run wide open all game long. So it was nice that they cracked down and got those interceptions. Matthew sidelines America, his formal name, his government name. Him being down on the sideline was awesome. This is 2 straight games where they have scored on their first drive, which didn't happen 2 times in the last 3 years. So, wow. And then it's
crazy.
Winning
records, all these.
They ran for 200 yards yesterday, which is the first time. Well, they did it once last season, and the last time they did that was Le'Veon Bell in 2016. So it was awesome. Now that they have Broderick Jones starting at right tackle, the O-line has really come together.
And that guy.
Jalen Warren is
beast.
They do not want to tackle him, obviously. You can see from that clip.
He is shot out of a gun, and he...
Come on, 3-7.
Well.
We got to give a better effort than that.
It was awesome.
He rushed for over 100 for the first time in his career. The Steelers are going to charge him for his jersey, obviously. He said he will take the payment, and he's just going to give it to his mom. Jalen Warren rushes for over 100. He's been a spark all year.
Oh, yeah.
All year he's been a spark, and a lot of people have been saying, hey, why isn't this guy getting the rock? Him and Najee yesterday, same exact amount of touches. Mark Caboli reported this. Feels like this is a slow transition potentially to being Jalen Warren's team. He's a guy. And I think when you're on the sideline, and Darius, correct me if I'm wrong, I think when you're on the sideline, you can feel the players a little bit more.
Yep.
You can look them in there, like Jalen Warren, give me the ball, bro.
Yeah.
Like, let me get the ball. You can kind of see how the teammates respond to guys as well, where it's like, yeah, we like this guy. We like blocking for this guy. Oh, Pickens, he wants the rock. He just told me right to my face, as opposed to somebody telling a phone to go up into a booth. I think you can really get a pulse of the team. Now, I know you can't see as well because you're not in the sky cam, but I think those conversations and that vibe and feel for a coordinator is vital to the success of a team. And I think that could be why Matthew Canada has sucked for so long. And now he's on the sideline, Matthew America. Maybe he does make a change and he's a little bit better because he's able to feel the flow.
Yeah, I know personally as a player, I would much rather my coach be on the sideline and up in the booth. I know some pros to being up in the booth, you can kind of get that all 22 vision, but when you're on the field, like you said, when you're on the field, you can just feel it. Even that situation with Minka, him being right there next to Terrell Austin as opposed to having to try to get on the phone in that situation that never happened. So Steve Wilkes, even down on the sideline in San Fran, I think that makes a difference as well. So who knows where the Steelers go from here? I mean, they didn't put up great numbers in the passing game, but obviously when you can run the ball like that, you can win a lot of ball games, especially late in the season.
Which, by the way, might be on a sideline thing where offensive line's like, hey, we can move them.
Yeah.
And the offensive line is not going to go to a phone to tell Matt Canada, hey, this is your offensive line speaking, the most humble group on earth. We can move the shit out of these dudes.
Have you ever seen an old lineman on the phone?
Never.
Not once.
But there might be a way on the sideline where you can get a sense from the boys, boys, like, hey, big boys,
dominate.
These guys feel very confident in what they're able to do. Maybe we should go that way in the entire thing.
I think they ran for 170 last week. Correct me if I could be wrong, but I think it was 170 last week and then 205 this week. So the two games that he's been on the field has been their best two rushing games by far. Yeah, and Naj had some good runs too. They were just opening holes yesterday. Now the Packers' rush defense let's
pivot to that. AJ, you were talking about a couple guys obviously not wanting to tackle Jalen Warren as the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. Not only your thoughts on the state of the defense for Green Bay, but just Green Bay as a whole. Last week it was like, is Jordan Love our guy of the future? Thought he had some good plays. Ty, can't wait to hear your thoughts, but thought he had some good plays. Has 2 picks in the final 3:30. That Patrick Peterson one, not his fault. Also the pick to end the game, play call seems like with what they were doing, they were probably going to get that one. They were sitting on it anyways. What are your thoughts, AJ, after watching that Packers team lose to the Steelers?
Man, I don't know what they plan. So what are they now? 3-6?
Yeah.
Which is just crazy to think of the Packers being 3-6 with how awesome they've been for so long. But I don't know, because Jordan Love definitely shows glimpses. This is a great ball right there. He shows glimpses. He just hasn't really put it together in their defense. Obviously, you have to be able to stop the run. You're playing the Steelers. If you stop the run, you're probably going to have a decent chance to win that game as well. So that's what's so tough for them. I don't know. I honestly don't know where they go or what they're going to do to try to fix this.
Sometimes you think Joe Barry just has 2 patches over his eyes while watching film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He might.
Yeah. He might.
Not just one, but 2 patches over both of his eyes. What are we doing out there? Ty, another L. And I saw your overreaction tweet, which was beautiful. But they were saying last week, maybe not Jordan Love, guy of the future. Gutekunst, LaFleur, even Murphy, they kind of all banked, right? They forced the Hall of Famer out. I don't want to remind people because all we do is carry water and wash balls.
That's right.
That's all we do.
Love doing it.
But we were right in the middle of that whole thing. And I was getting a lot of hate because I said, are we sure that Guti is a great general manager? Are we sure that LaFleur is a great head coach? And I got people that are big-time bloggers for Green Bay who might have had a sense of hate towards me anyways because we were talking to Aaron every single week. But nonetheless, I feel like we gave a lot of good information. It was fun to be a Green Bay Packers fan. But they were attacking me because I said, are we sure about Guti? Which I think was a real question. At this stage, what do you think the future of your Packers looks like? Because you are an owner. And is Jordan Love the guy for the future? And if he is, what does that mean for Guti, LaFleur? They're just here forever. How does it work,
It's tough because I don't know if he is the guy, but I also don't think you can put all of this stuff on him. He clearly, because early in the season, after the first couple games, we were like, oh, okay, we've kind of seen enough already to know that maybe it wasn't the craziest decision. We know Rodgers was kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He probably wanted to move on. They got this guy, and he looked good early. I just, with the defense, again, Diggs mentioned it. I mean, I don't know how you just do the same shit week in, week out, and nothing ever changes. And then they just rely on, we have 9 first-round draft picks. They got to figure it out eventually. They haven't. This has been an issue for the last 5 to 6 years. Seems like LaFleur in big-time moments, dating back to when they had Rodgers, he just chokes. Like I don't think he's the guy moving forward. Like I can't see them winning a Super Bowl with him at the helm with Jordan Love. Like, because it's happened several times this year where like the Packers will get the ball back with a minute and a half or whatever, and Love has that opportunity to kind of go down the field and win them the game and cement like, he is a guy. This is a jumping off point for the rest of the season. And I don't know if it's play calling. Like, I know how young they are, so I think that has something to do with it. But even like
they're killing Christian Watson.
Yeah, that's another.
He was trending.
Exactly. And part of that, I think, is that his family has been very vocal, and like they're posting like Devontae Adams stats from his first 2 years and saying like, were you saying this about this guy when, which is whatever. That's neither here nor there. But it's just like, it's the same thing. They don't have an identity. They don't have any guys they can rely on. It seems like when Aaron Jones is healthy, he doesn't get the ball, or he's in there, like very sparingly. And then on defense, it's just the same shit over and over and over again. And yesterday I knew, they get a PAT blocked, and right when it happens, it's like that's going to come back to bite him in the ass 1,000%. Just like no effort on the play. And then obviously it comes down to that. They put themselves in a situation where, as opposed to being able to kick a field goal to extend the game and go into overtime, you have to score a touchdown. And then, like you mentioned, like what is Jordan Love going to do? Like, he has to try to throw it into a touchdown. They have to score a touchdown there. So is it the best play call? I don't know. It's just a lot of like, and I think part of it too that's so frustrating, and it's not Jordan Love's fault at all, but it's like you look at these games where they have an opportunity to go down and win, and then the back of your mind, all you're thinking is in the past, like Rodgers goes down and wins that game. And they're not the same guy, and that's not fair, but that's just like that's the reality. It's like in these situations, Packers fans are used to the Packers going down and winning those games because the offense has always just hummed, and it's like, it's okay, minute and a half left, whatever, down by 4, like Rodgers is going to lead the team down, and they're going to score, and they're going to win. And that shit just isn't happening anymore. So it's like, I don't know where you go. I really don't, because I don't think LaFleur is going to get fired. I can't imagine they retain Joe Barry, but they probably will, because he should have been fired 2 years ago. So it's just a shit show.
Yeah, I thought this year was going to go bad for you guys anyways, because even though he is a couple years into his career, rookie year here for Jordan, and C.J. Stroud picks it up real quick. Real quick.
Yeah.
So quick.
Right away.
So quick.
And he's got a bunch of young guys too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and they were a dumpster fire last year as opposed to like a team that has a bunch of 9 first-rounders on the team.
The Packers knew it wasn't going to be just seamless from Aaron to the next guy, though, right?
Agreed. No. Had to think it was going to be a transition year of some sort, right?
Yeah, but then it's true. When you mentioned CJ, that does, you're like, oh man, like rookie steps in. I know every situation is different, but yeah, it's true. I don't know what the plan is there.
Yeah, and also the way it all went, way it all went about like, what, go Pack go or something. What is that the statement? Remember, people were putting signs out in front of Aaron's house telling him to go Pack.
Yeah,
not go.
No,
it was like, get the hell out of here. And then Guti and Mark Murphy were putting out emails about how we're trying with this guy. He is the worst. Like basically, that's kind of how it was all kind of laid out. They were trying their best to get that guy out of the building. Now, in New York, it's obviously a much different story. He had a parade there, but they were putting all of their eggs in, like, Jordan Love is the next one here. And here we're sitting at what, 3-6?
Yeah, 3-6.
And are they gonna remain patient with it? So because maybe it does take him a little bit because he's young. And if they do, are they remaining patient with Matt LaFleur? And what if LaFleur isn't the guy? And if he isn't the guy, do you find that out 2 years from now? Or do you find out now and then there's another play caller? It's like, that's an interesting little scenario they've kind of put themselves in because the grass was definitely greener, they said.
And that's what I think is even maybe the more egregious part, at least in terms of like Gutekunst and everything like that, is like you want to blame everything on Jordan Love, but every person we talked to, or every, like media person who was talking about the Packers coming into this year was talking about how good the defense is. And like, that's why they could maybe go to the playoffs, because of all the pieces and the talent they've accrued on defense. And whether it's scheme or just like what they're doing, like the defense isn't worth a shit. It's not. And they knew with Jordan Love being, in his first year as a starter, like the defense was going to have to be kind of the driving force of this team. And the guys that they have in place, for whatever reason, just can't get it done.
Go ahead, Tom.
To Ty's point, I looked it up because we were talking about it earlier, how I noticed it too. So 4 of their losses, they had the ball with the chance to win the game. Three of them ended in an interception. One of them was a 4 and an out. So like when you're used to Rodgers going down the field and winning it every single time, and then the new guy comes in and isn't doing the same. It just puts
Now,
that
to
one.
be clear, though, a Jordan Love is going to get compared to like Aaron's best.
Yeah,
For sure.
for sure.
You know, that is brutal.
Yeah, terrible for him.
That's just like what happens with the Eagles and the Chiefs. Like, we're comparing them against how they are in the middle of the playoffs or in the Super Bowl when they're playing their absolute best. Whenever you talk about Jordan Love and he makes a mistake, the immediate thought is like, oh, saw Aaron make that exact throw 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But he probably has missed it before as well through his career. Long time there. Maybe Jordan will be able to grow, but it is.
That's part of
It's
it.
loud over there.
Yeah, they're definitely giving him another year, though, right? Or at least he'll be on the roster. I know that the contract is very easy to get rid of if they want, but instead of doing the 5th year, they gave him that 2-year extension.
Yeah, I think you got to give him another year because we mentioned it. It is pretty much his rookie year. But, I mean, it's part of it. You're a first-round pick. You had the opportunity to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years, and that's not like you're just getting thrown in the fire, kind of like Bryce Young, number 1 overall pick, and everything around him is just a shit show. So there are expectations there, especially when you're playing for the Green Bay Packers too. It's not like you're playing from like this is one of the biggest brands in the National Football League. So is it fair? Is it not fair? You're the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. You've had the opportunity to prepare for this. The coaches obviously got to put you in a situation. You talked about being in those situations to win games. That's the NFL. Most of them are going to come down to 2-minute drives on defense, getting a stop, or offense, getting yourself in a position to kick a field goal to score a touchdown.
5 walk-off kicks yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the state of the NFL. It's how it is. Speaking of teams that didn't need a walk-off field goal to win it yesterday, Niners is back, AJ. The Niners is back. You said you had the Niners regardless. I said if Trent Williams is playing, I'm on the Niners. And the reason why I think he matters so much is because I like talking about the humans in games. I like guys that are feeling good, guys that have a little bit of revenge. Sure. Why do they play a little bit harder this play? Oh, this play spurned them. This play screwed them. This play said this. Oh, they're talking this. Well, humans are going to react differently. When Trent Williams is leading your team onto the field, I just think humans react differently. On their side, I think they're reacting differently. And I think on the Niners side, they're reacting differently. Huge piece back in the puzzle there for the San Francisco 49ers. What are your thoughts alongside Chase joining them and getting half a sack as well, AJ?
Yeah, it was fun to see the Niners just come out on fire. Like they're so good when they play like this and they're so physical. And I think you're right. Like the mental edge it gives them knowing that Trent Williams is in the lineup, and also like you got Trent Williams walking out, Debo. Oh, cool. Here's Chase Young. Then Nick Bosa. Like, are you kidding me? Like the most freakishly giant athletic team like in the NFL. It feels like
that
they're just absolutely nuts. Yeah, Kittle obviously is
look high stepping from
crazy.
the 20.
It was awesome.
Him
so
and who's buddy from the Ravens? He walked in. He was so sick.
Hamilton.
Bro, that's
sick.
Like George just did it here, and I think I might have turned off the highlight whenever he was high stepping at like the 15 or the 10. I didn't know he started walking in. The walk in at the end. Awesome.
So nice.
Hamilton had the jump, swat, pick, and then he runs and then he walks in and then he throws the ball out.
Yeah.
That was so cold. That was maybe the sickest thing I've seen in a while. Look at this pick all the way through the celebration. They don't win the game, so who cares? But look at walk in and then get that shit out. I mean, that was cold. If there's a now they lose the game, so kind of sucked.
That was wild.
But look at that.
That's hard.
Yeah,
awesome
that is
play.
So cool.
That is awesome.
Right away, too, in that game.
From the beginning all the way to the end.
Yeah.
That was sick. Sorry you lost that game and you can't enjoy that.
Yeah, right.
That should be a photo somewhere in the house if
Yeah.
I was you. But yeah, George Kittle also had him. Christian McCaffrey. I mean, when you see Trent, Debo, Chase, Bosa, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Fred Hargrave,
Greenlaw,
Huafonga,
everyone.
Yeah, it's just like when they're walking on the field, you can win a game beforehand. And I feel like yesterday that potentially happened. Let's pivot away from the NFL. Welcome back to the Niners.
Hell yeah.
Not scared. Not panicking about the Jags either.
No.
Sometimes that just happens.
Two good teams.
There's a chance that could happen. I think that happened to them yesterday. Joining us now is a man who's been at the bottom of everything happening in college football.
In the weeds.
For the last 20 years maybe, but certainly the last 2 weeks. And he has gotten loud in this man's mentions. More people have told him to kill himself than me over the last 2 weeks. That's a tough feat. This man knew everything happening with the Michigan story as it was happening, and he also knows about all the firings and what's potentially next in college football. The authority from College Game Day, Pete Thamel.
Yeah, Pete!
What's up, Petey, baby?
Gentlemen, good to be back. Appreciate you having me.
Hey, it is great to have you on this particular program. I don't know if you've broke this news, but college football All-American, college football national champion, man who has a tree at Ohio State University, did lose 1/3 of his cornea on his right eye. I don't know if you want to break that news, Pete. We can give you that information. That's that guy right over there, right there. AJ.
I see AJ. Obviously, he's got the sunglasses on and some type of bandage. Hope you're okay, man.
Oh yeah, I'm doing great, Pete. No worries about me. We're worried about you.
Sources say he's doing great. No worries about me. Yeah. We're worried about others. We're piecing the story together.
No day-to-day for AJ, by the way. No questionable. He's back. He's ready to play.
He actually said, the doctor told me I lost 1/3 of my cornea, but I'm going back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. They think they're going to take this off. That's a 2-week injury.
At least. Yeah.
At least a 2-week injury, but he thinks he's out tomorrow, Pete. Anyways, let's dive in. Michigan. Okay, that story was one that you were obviously in front of. In doing that, you're going to take a lot of shots. You did throughout the entirety of this. There was a lot of mess. There was a lot of allegations. There was things being said about everybody and everything. Ultimately, in the end, the Big Ten suspended Michigan's head coach, not Jim Harbaugh, the University of Michigan's head coach for the remainder of the season. Not necessarily the amount of games either. It was remainder of the season. He was then
regular
season, sorry. He was then able to potentially file an injunction to coach on Saturday, but the court denied or delayed or something. What the hell is going on? Where are we? And is that it for the punishment for this potential cheating scandal and everything?
So, Pat, I think the way the punishment was written was instructive timeline-wise, because they made it a point to not say this is a 3-game suspension, because obviously the prospect of a temporary restraining order being given loomed over the Big Ten's decision as it sort of drifted to late in the week. So Jim Harbaugh has missed 1 game, and he is still now technically suspended for the next 2. There is a hearing on Friday at 9 a.m. at the Washtenaw County Circuit Courthouse in Ann Arbor.
Why Friday? Which, why not like today so that people know who's coaching on Saturday?
Great question, and I definitely am not a lawyer, so I don't know. That goes down to like judicial schedules and a level of legal minutia at a specific courthouse in a place where I don't live. So, as court dates go, generally, having one given on a Saturday for Friday is fairly fast, I would think, right? Like, again, there's an urgency to this, which is why they had the ex parte TRO ask, which basically they were asking for an emergency injunction. So what's going to be at stake on Friday? And I was told this is going to be full Judge Judy. There's going to be all the parties represented. There's going to be evidence. Even Jim Harbaugh today referenced that he's going to let his feelings known about this in court.
Got cameras?
There's going to be some significant drama. Now Harbaugh's obviously a longtime Judge Judy fan. That's like something that he's attended Judge Judy, and so it is literally going to be a courtroom. Yeah, no, that's all very awesome. Real. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, he is a different cat, man. And so the Big Ten is going to be represented with their lawyers, Coach Harbaugh with his representatives, and obviously Michigan, the Board of Regents, et cetera, with their lawyers. All the parties that were in the TRO ask are going to be in court. So evidence is going to be presented. People are going to talk, and then the judge is going to make a decision. It's not a jury decision. It's a judge decision. So, I don't know if this is going to be televised, but my gosh, it would be some pretty fascinating theater if it is. It's certainly going to be in public courtroom. There'll be reporters there. There we go. Zito working overtime. That's very good. Jim Harbaugh, a devout Judge Judy fan. So his day in court will come, and we'll know. I would assume by end of day Friday. If there is a temporary injunction put in place or if there's not, and that will determine whether or not Jim Harbaugh coaches at Maryland at noon on Saturday.
That should be a big deal when we're live at James Madison on Friday, which everybody's all jacked up about.
Can't wait. Biggest game of the week.
A lot of malice coming from Corvallis about me. A lot of it. We'd like to let everybody know me nor Pete make the decisions on where College Game Day goes. Basically, anybody you see on a camera does not make the decision. No. There is certainly a conversation today, though. I will. Not in our DMs, but we're just talking about it in meetings. Boy, interesting. Massive one. over there in Corvallis.
Huge.
10 versus 5.
Oh, big game.
10 versus 5 going on over there. And they're saying, that we're scared or something. What are we scared? What do we do? We got a net up. What are you going to do? You going to shoot me in the head? Why would we be scared? That's what college football is, but the James Madison story, I guess, won the entire conversation. It took place way over Pete and I's heads and also everybody else. But that should be an electric environment, James Madison, especially if we learn about the Harbaugh thing. If that injunction takes place where he's able to coach the next day, then what does that mean for the Ohio State game? I guess we'll get to it whenever we get to it. Let's move to the big news about Jimbo Fisher getting paid $76.8 million to leave his job and go elsewhere. Just 2 years into a 10-year, $95 million contract, Jimbo Fisher has been fired by Texas A&M after winning a game. How did we get here? Is he coaching again? What do you think Jimbo does? What's the early indicators? And who is Texas A&M hiring?
Well, how we got here to start, Pat, is that Ross Bjork, the athletic director, last night said the program was stuck in neutral. I think that'll be sort of the obituary lead quote on this when we look back on Jimbo Fisher's the end of Jimbo Fisher's run at Texas A&M. I believe they'd lost 9 straight road games. They haven't won a road game since winning at Missouri in mid-2021. And look, Texas A&M's a really interesting case, Pat. They haven't won a league title since 1998 when they were in the Big 12. And that was the only Big 12 title they won their whole time in that league. And this is now 4 consecutive coaches who've coached there who have not won a league title. They have the resources. They have the recruiting base. They certainly have the ambition. And they've spent to redo the stadium and build one of those just exotic practice facilities that's, the size of small European countries. But the results just haven't matched the investment and the ambition. So it's just kind of this fascinating outlier where people keep trying and keep trying. They tried Mike Sherman, who was like the NFL veteran who came back. They tried Kevin Sumlin, who was the hot mid-major coach. They tried Jimbo Fisher, the national championship coach. They tried Dennis Francione, who had some success at previous stuff. So they've kind of hit every archetype of this, and it'll be fascinating to see where they go next.
There's been a lot of names that have been thrown around. Yeah. Nobody's leaving SEC school to go to another SEC school, right? Or is it just?
I wouldn't say it's a guarantee. I mean, look, Dan Mullen left Mississippi State to go to Florida a few years ago. There's, especially with these leagues being as ginormous as they are now, there's tiers. The Alabama job is very different than the South Carolina job, right? And in terms of investment, the Texas A&M job is a top tier SEC job, and it's in the state of Texas. We obviously have Texas coming in now with some competition, but there are football players there in Texas. So I wouldn't rule out them hiring an SEC coach, which obviously the name there that I think some of the money people at Texas A&M are intrigued by is Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin has always been able to move the ball. That was the mystifying thing about Jimbo Fisher's tenure there, is that they never really developed a succinct offensive identity. They finally got the quarterback, I think, at Connor Wegman. He obviously got hurt this year, so we didn't get to see it. So that would certainly be the college football tends to always
Coach Prime
into the best storyline, right?
Coach Prime, wouldn't Coach Prime be the guy?
Coach Prime's interesting. Obviously, he in the state of Texas would be a juggernaut. They are 4-6 right now. Like the Coach Prime is undefeated, going to win a Super Bowl sort of narrative has quelled down a little bit. Now look, he inherited a terrible roster and had to completely reinvent it. So them having some sort of inherent struggles here isn't a big surprise. What he's done for that university and a program that was just a carcass on the side of the road for a generation has been remarkable. Is he the guy who's going to you are hiring a coach to win a national title? Is Deion Sanders that guy? We'll see. He's certainly invigorated them, and he certainly brought a lot of eyeballs to them and made them the story of the season in college football. But
could you imagine him walking into that team meeting and saying, "I look around, I see a lot of Louis luggage here already. That's good news. I got some that I'm already potentially bringing, and I've heard about Jimbo's classes and how much money we get just to recruit seniors in high school as well. I mean, this is a whole new animal. I think a lot of people would enjoy the hell out of that, but Texas A&M has to make the best decision for them. And also, I think Coach Prime has said Colorado, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Texas A&M, they're paying $76.8 million to a guy to leave. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they're going to pay a guy to come in. That would be a fascinating thing. Go ahead, AJ.
So, Pete, I'm sure they're not going to be hesitant, but are any other schools going to be hesitant to give these giant long-term contracts to some of these coaches coming in? Like A&M, they know they got to pay Jimbo, and then they have to pay the next guy a very similar contract they gave him, right?
Jimmy Sexton is a dog.
Yes.
Yeah, he remains undefeated.
Dog.
So I really feel like it's a great question, AJ, because fiscal austerity is not exactly something that A&M's overlords can claim today, especially because the stuck at neutral, they weren't exactly a roaring juggernaut. They had one good season under Jimbo. They went 9-1 in that COVID year. Look, and it was, I believe they were all SEC games in that year. Yes, I believe that was the case in 2020. So they came in 5th in the CFP that year, and we're an elite team that had an argument at the end. I believe Notre Dame got in ahead of them, but that was really the 1 year payoff. And he had signed an initial historic 10-year $75 million deal when he went there 6 years ago. So to re-extend it, certainly in hindsight, seems like it was fiscally irresponsible. But look, in terms of will schools change their behavior? These schools want to win so bad, and they didn't want to lose Jimbo Fisher to LSU. That was the Orgeron era was sputtering out at the time, and there was a feeling that Scott Woodward, the AD there, who had hired him at A&M, could have gone and done that. So it was sort of a preemptive strike, and with a lot of college football decisions that go awry, it was made probably with more emotion than with pragmatism.
Jimmy Sexton, LSU, they're getting hungry.
Yeah.
Jimmy, LSU's got the money down there, That's awesome.
Do I see this ending, AJ, to answer your question? No, because people want to win, and there's a finite talent pool that can win in coaching at that level.
That's fascinating to me. Just Jimmy Sexton, just that name in general. I've gotten to know the man. I've gotten to shake hands. I got to do business with him. Mm-hmm. I got a chance to watch him work. And then you do a little bit of research. It's like, is this the greatest agent of all time? And he's just this Southern gentleman. Mm-hmm. Hey, how's it going, boys? We got this going on. Hey, we got to do this. We're going to do that. How much is it you want to fire him? $76.8 million. I think that's what we'll do. What a dog, dude. Hey, Jimmy, way to go. Both of you, Jimbo and Jimmy.
Good work, James.
Jimbo and Jimmy. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Pete. There's another opening right now. Mississippi State just fired their head coach. Doesn't Rich Rod just feel right for that position?
That is a great cultural fit, right?
Uh-huh.
Just when you look at Rich, and he's done a great job at Jacksonville State. I know sometimes I get typecast for giving bad news. I don't think they're going to hire Rich Rodriguez. I just don't. I'm sorry, Pat. I know you're very close to Rich. I adore Rich Rodriguez. He's one of the most endearing characters in the 20 years that I've done this. I just
great.
Yeah.
Hilarious character.
I feel like that job could be Jeff Lebby, Jamie Chadwell is a really good name there. There's a guy named John Summerall at Troy, who's since we were at game day last year, Pat, when Troy lost on that Hail Mary at App State, I believe Troy is 18-2 since that time. So he's in that hot G5 name category there. GJ Kinney's done a great job at Texas State. Could bring some wide open offense. I'll say this about the Mississippi State job, Tone. You got to be a little different there to win. The former athletic director there, Scott Strickland, who's at Florida now, told me when they were hot with Dak Prescott that when they looked at hiring Dan Mullen back in the around 2009 or 10 when he was Florida's OC and they were hot there, he found historically whenever Mississippi State had won, they had run the quarterback. And the thought there is that you have a lot of things stacked against you, especially in this outsized SEC. You've got to be a little bit different. So Mike Leach was obviously a little bit different.
Do they have NIL down there? They have NIL?
They have NIL. I don't think it's the same caliber of NIL that some of their peers do, but they did a really good job keeping the team together after the tragic passing of Mike Leach, and they were able to not keep all of their best players, but they were able to keep a lot of their best players because they had two of the SEC's leading tacklers on defense. They had a pretty good roster. Will Rodgers, obviously. was one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC entering the season. He would have had a big market. So they did a good job keeping their guys. And look, they really care at Mississippi State. It's a place where I've gone a bunch over the years, and that is as good of a game day environment, just actually from kickoff down with the cowbells and everything, as you will find across our great country. I mean, they really have a passion and care there, and are as locked in as any fan base as possible.
And they all stop with the cowbells at like the same exact 10 seconds on the play clock or 15 seconds on the play clock. It's fast. Ah! Nobody even has to say anything. And then it just stops. And then, it's an awesome fan base. Awesome place. I got to call a game down there, the Egg Bowl.
Yeah.
Rich Rod would be perfect for that.
Sweet.
You talk about being a little bit different. That guy would go in there.
Quarterback.
He would win the hearts of the Mississippi State fans quick. Now, if you don't win, I guess they'll run your ass out of there as well. That's Zach Arnett that got fired there. Andy Avalos, Boise State, he got fired as well. Brady Hoke resigned after the last one, said, I ain't got it anymore. Sorry about it. After 39-31, very active weekend for coaches in new places potentially. AJ has a question for you, Pete.
Pete, so what happens after this year for Jim Harbaugh, for Michigan, for anything? Any prognosticating on your end? Like, what does the staff look like? What does the team look like?
Yeah, great question, AJ. So the last 2 seasons, and you could go back further, Jim Harbaugh has had significant dalliances with the NFL. He famously interviewed for the Vikings job 2 years ago on signing day. He went well down the road 2 different times with the Denver Broncos last year before ultimately returning to Michigan. I think in part knowing the team he had. I mean, they have an excellent elite team there. He could potentially be facing multiple suspensions off of these NCAA issues they have. The quote-unquote hamburger recruiting issue still is not resolved. The 3-game suspension was self-imposed to mitigate the damages. And remember, there was a 4-game proposal on the table that the NCAA didn't take. So that would portend that they believe Jim Harbaugh, who allegedly misled investigators, deserves more severe punishment. And obviously, I can't say the name Conor Stalions without thinking about Ty saying Conor Stalions as me. Conor Stalions. Thank you. Conor Stalions and laissez-faire spy and signal stealing and in-person scouting is going to be something that falls under head coach responsibility. So that said, there are 2 major NCAA deals hanging over Jim Harbaugh. So next year, there could certainly be more Jim Harbaugh missing from the sideline after a significant amount of Jim Harbaugh missing from the sideline this year. 4 games already, 2 games potentially to go here, depending on what the good folks in the Ann Arbor courthouse say on Friday. So I bring all that up, AJ, to say there's a lot of heat there, and
for sure,
Jim Harbaugh, we can't. I can't overstate what a good NFL coach he was. He won 70% of his games. He is the 5th leading NFL coach by winning percentage in the history of the NFL. If he went back to the NFL right now, he would be the winningest coach in the NFL by win percentage. So the guy was really good with the 49ers, and he obviously did not leave a lot of fans in that organization. And I think some of that stigma-wise has hurt him from going back. But look, man, it's a cold-blooded billion-dollar business, Pat. You mention that all the time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Billionaires with a B who are hyper-competitive want to win, and Jim Harbaugh has proven he can win. So there would seemingly be some opportunity for him there, where maybe there wasn't in other years when he had some ambitions to go back. Las Vegas obviously looms as a potential place where you could see an ownership fit, a quirky owner with a quirky coach.
Harbaugh.
So it's never boring with Jim Harbaugh. That is one thing that has been consistent since he was at San Diego and since he was a player, really. And I expect there to be a lot of drama pushing forward. He did say 2 years ago that he would never leave Michigan after the Vikings dalliance, and then he, nearly did last year. So anyway, the circumstances surrounding him are fascinating and unprecedented. So it's going to be a really interesting stretch of weeks there. I will say this, AJ, the university has bent over backwards to accommodate him. I mean, the rhetoric in which they've spoken about him and supported him and the way they've supported him and trying to keep this title team together has been fierce.
Always got to recruit. Always got to recruit. Ty has a question for you here as we wrap up.
Yeah, Pete, just curious. I don't know if this is outside of your purview and whether or not this is kind of just, message board fodder, but I've been seeing a lot of people recently on the internet Michigan alums, fans, people that are just, quote unquote, close to the program. Is there any way, shape, or form that Michigan would potentially leave the Big Ten if Tony Petitti doesn't step down? I mean, I know it sounds crazy. I think it's bullshit. But is there any way we could potentially, if the Harbaugh situation kind of doesn't unfold, how Michigan fans and Michigan, staff, Board of Regents, et cetera, if it doesn't fold out like the way they anticipate it to, is there any way we could potentially see Michigan dropping out of the Big Ten and, I don't know, becoming an independent if Tony Petitti doesn't step down as Big Ten commissioner? Or is that largely bullshit?
So there's been a steady stream of hyperbole coming from Michigan in recent weeks surrounding this case, but there's nothing more hyperbolic than the alleged reported threat to leave the Big Ten.
Okay.
You could really only go to the SEC, and that would seem to be an emotionally overwrought.
Come on.
The emotionally overwrought decision that I would never, ever see manifesting itself. I think, look, it's been really interesting to watch Michigan from an administration standpoint go all in to try to win this title. They have the team to do it, and they are doing everything possible to make sure that their coach is on the sideline for it.
Hell yeah, Pete. We appreciate that. We'll be back tomorrow with Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, Sports Center in 7. Perfect. Andrew, back. Go ahead. Sorry, I had to sign off. You're good. Keep it rolling. We're still live. All good, Pete.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, just had to. All right. Perfect ending, Mike.
Yeah. But I could never fathom that happening. Certainly college sports are crazy and wacky, but just there's a lack of geographic common sense that strains credulity to think that it would ever actually happen. But give them credit for lobbing that grenade out there, because that was a fun one when that one showed up on the
What'd you say? What'd you say?
Transcredulity.
Strange? Oh. Can you spell it? Hold on.
Zito. Country
of origin here?
Zito, it's you.
Strange. What'd you say?
Strange credulity.
Strange credulity. Can you spell that right now if you had to?
You know that one, Ty?
He said portend earlier, too.
Strange.
Fiscal austerity.
STRANSCRUDULY?
Maybe it would be CREDULITY, I think.
Oh, there's a T in there. I didn't even hear that. Maybe your accent got it there. Strange credulity?
I saved my T's for Stallions.
Yeah, you do great with it. We actually got a question about Steins coming. We weren't going to let you get out of here. Strange. Do we have it?
Is it one word?
I don't want to blow up Zito's spot. He's usually pretty.
No, there's a full conversation happening back there right now.
He's having a hard time with it.
Yeah,
we're trying to spell it.
Strange. I think strange. STR.
This is like the draft when they try to, get someone obscure in the 7th round to stump the truck. So
two words or
two
one
words.
Yeah.
Strange.
2 words.
2 words.
Credulity. Oh, I thought it was one. I thought we were learning something.
Maybe hyphenated.
No.
He strains credulity. Is that
What does portend mean? He said portend earlier, not pretend, portend.
It's 2 words. That's why it kind of fucked us.
Oh, strain. I thought it was strange.
Yeah, it's 2 words.
I thought Drew, strange. I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was strange, like somebody would with spaghetti.
Exactly. Yeah.
I thought you were strange credulity.
Sure.
I didn't know exactly what it was. What is the other word you said that you heard him say?
Portend.
What does that mean?
Peter.
Portend just means like hint at the future.
Holy shit.
Oh.
Portend, be a sign or a warning that something, especially something momentous.
Like ominous? Would ominous be a synonym?
No. Something
because
ominous
could be
could
good or bad.
portend.
Yeah, something you could portend something ominous.
Yeah, right? So we're portending when we're thinking ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
We're not pretending.
No.
But, we never do that on this show. We always contend.
JSPN.
We never pretend.
That's right.
But we will portend the shit out of some stuff, won't we?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
all day long.
Especially with Pete on this damn thing. I mean, I've been straining credulity this entire time. I am so fed up with never getting credit of the credulity that we've been straining around here. Anyways, last question here for you from Darius. We appreciate your time,
Yeah,
Pete.
I appreciate getting smarter too. This is a pretty simple, straightforward question though. Where
his
the
answer,
hell
though.
is Conor Stalions? Has anyone heard or seen this guy in the last few weeks?
It's a great question, D-Bud. He has gone profiled since resigning. I think it was 2 Fridays ago. And other than the Wall Street Journal story about his vacuum repair business and Amazon refurbishing business, there has not been much seen or said about Conor Stalions.
Does he have to be at this thing in Ann Arbor on Friday?
I don't believe he does because it's the TRO didn't really have anything to do with him. So, I mean, from the resignation of Conor Stalions is significant going forward in the Michigan case because he's no longer employed by the university and has nothing to do with the NCAA. He's not going to be obligated to cooperate with investigators. So, like some of the stuff like the
That's a
financial
Marine.
trail.
That's a Marine if I've ever heard of one. I'll
Yeah.
just resign. They can't ask me shit. See ya.
Whatever.
See ya. Blame me. Rogue agent.
Love it.
Man, do 10. Need you to do 10 for us.
Yep.
You got it. Got $1 million on the other side.
His
It's going to
legacy.
be hard times. You're not going to be able to watch Michigan football.
Nope.
Not going to be on the sidelines or anything. But I'll resign. I'll get out of here. You think he's going to be able to survive without Michigan football? Conor Stalions? You think he's going to be able to survive?
It's an interesting question. I mean, certainly a lot of people have played amateur psychologist with the paper trail he left behind and what he did and, his lifelong ambition of being Michigan's coach. So I hope the guy's okay, just generally, because obviously you're a low-profile kind of like grunt staffer like that. You become world famous. You transcend sport into pop culture. I mean, people are talking about Conor Stalions in every corner. So it's had to be a pretty difficult time for him, I would think.
I would assume they had a lot of eyes, but a lot of people said it seemed like he was doing things a little reckless trying to get caught.
Yeah, exactly.
People wanted to know if Conor Stalions had his imprint on this Michigan Wolverines. But once you said everybody's playing internet psychologist at this point, I told you that was the last question. That was a lie. Evan Fox has a question for you about an institution that has a lot of question marks around it, both on the field, off the field, decisions that are made, and stories that come out of it.
Yeah, Pete, when is Michigan State announcing the hiring of Urban Meyer? I know that's coming soon, right?
Urban Meyer will not be the next coach at Michigan State.
Come on.
Full confidence. I know that's not fun, but you guys obviously don't bring me on for fun. It's interesting,
You're fun.
when you look at, obviously Northwestern's job's open, Michigan State's job is open, Michigan's could potentially open. I just think that, that because it almost has the last 2 years, it will be a really interesting time. I think the A&M opening could slightly intersect with Michigan State, although they're in a little bit different financial weight classes, Evan. Like Mike Elko would be a preferred target of if you're Michigan State. Ooh. And I wonder if Texas A&M, Dan Lanning, obviously friend of the Game Day program for all the great things he's done and allowed us to do this year. His buyout's $20 million to leave. And then I certainly don't want to go wonky buyout math on you because I'll get mocked for it. But you essentially, because of taxes, that's really $30 million. Now, some of that can be mitigated and subverted and such. But again, they just paid $76 million for a coach not to coach. But that is at least an acknowledgeable obstacle for Dan Lanning to go. And I think you could do a podcast on whether the A&M job in the SEC, as it's about to be constructed, is actually a better or worse job than the Oregon job in the Big Ten as it's about to be constructed. I think it's a fair debate that reasonable people could be on either side of. There's obviously more talent at one, but Oregon has just clearly won bigger the last 2 decades.
Oregon might be in a college football playoff.
Yeah. They were in the first one, and they could well be in it again. I mean, they have a heck of a squad there.
And Phil Knight's just Uncle Phil's right over.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Just whatever Nike you need. They got 1,000 different jerseys. Easy to recruit up there. I wish we were going to Oregon this weekend.
That would have been nice.
It wouldn't have been the University of Oregon. It would have been the state of Oregon. It would have been nice to get up. It's beautiful up there.
It's what we wanted to do.
We've been saying this the whole time.
Got to get to Oregon.
Get to Corvallis.
Can't wait
to get to Corvallis.
Eugene.
No, we've been there.
You wonder if if
Oh.
Oregon State wins. How about that for a finale of Oregon State at Oregon in their final Pac-12 regular season game, where they could play spoiler for Oregon's college football playoff chances? Like, that would be some pretty high stakes drama. That's a great rivalry. I mean, it's that's one of my favorite regions of the country. Great football there, good people. The two coaches there are as good of coaches as anywhere in the country. Jonathan Smith has done an unbelievable job building that thing up from nothing, incrementally, slowly, gaining talent, using the portal in nice places. But they've got unbelievable defensive front, unbelievable offensive line. I've really have been impressed. That's been as good of a coaching job over a 5-year stretch as we've seen anywhere in college football lately. So high stakes and big drama out west the rest of the way, Pat.
Yeah, we're going to watch it all, too, by the way, from James Madison.
That's right.
Can't wait.
People aren't happy about it.
No.
Why?
No.
But James Madison's pumped.
Yeah.
Haven't really talked about that much.
Great school.
I've had a good 5-6 people
I've
tweet me
heard-
telling me for James Madison. They're excited.
Whoa,
Got
slow
a couple
down.
hundred people telling me to kill myself because we're not going to Corvallis, but certainly 5-6 people from James Madison jacked up. It's good. It's great.
I was told the James Madison show at game day, I wasn't on the show, from 5 or 6 years ago, was maybe the best crowd that they've ever had.
Hell yes. I love hearing that.
Need that.
I needed that. I needed to hear that. I needed that. That's good news. Can't wait to get down to James Madison.
Let's go, JMU.
Can't wait to get down there. I think PFT, right? Isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I got respect for obviously his brain and who he is. There's probably just a bunch of him down there.
Joe Bros.
Our friend Blaine Stewart went there.
Blaine Stewart, current coach of West Virginia Mountaineers.
Joe Bros went there.
He sent a text this morning that said, "Wait till you get down there. Going to be a top 5 program in the country in about 5-10 years." James Madison.
Is that right?
Can't wait to experience it.
Top 5, huh?
They just beat the shit.
Are they
out.
joining the SEC too?
Why not?
They're undefeated right now.
Might.
Oh, okay.
If it wasn't for the NCAA saying you can't play in your championship game. I mean, it's all bullshit.
Ridiculous.
Anyways, we're thankful to be a part of your life, Pete. You have made our life better. I want to let you know that. Thank you for being the authority and taking it on the shins while you just try to do your job. You're the man for that.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you down there.
Need to get you a longer umbrella next rain game day, though.
We'll bring
that
it.
wasn't ideal. Suboptimal, but, we'll watch the film and get better.
Okay, always do. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Thamel.
Yeah, Peter.
He had that umbrella right in the camera.
Yep.
His fist did not move either.
It's awesome.
That shoulder workout that he was doing while breaking the news,
Oh, yeah.
just locked in there. I'm like, I love what we're doing. And then you see the entire umbrella. It's like this little,
He must have that Orshlovsky shoulder thing.
oh yeah, this one.
True.
Hey, maybe you're going to make one of those for eyeballs.
That'd be cool.
Maybe. You never know. You never know what could come from this.
All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back on the other side. We got an incredible third hour coming up.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
We got overreaction tweets.
Right.
We got official picks for this evening.
Right.
We got more storylines we haven't talked about, like, for instance, the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the Raiders in general.
Could be legit.
Smoking cigars again.
Living.
Love that.
Absolutely living over there. Antonio Pierce showed up in a drop top, chopped up,
What?
sick car. I
Yeah,
mean, maybe
cool.
the greatest car I've ever seen a coach pull up to a game in.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Exhibit was there too.
Didn't hit. I was actually about to say that. That
Exhibit?
thing's on
Really?
Yeah.
Pimp My Ride. That thing had a chance to bounce.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had hydraulics in it. It appeared with how small the rims were that there was a chance we'd get that thing to bounce. Imagine he pulls in there bouncing and second game as a head coach.
Yeah. Call it.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome what the Raiders doing. Chris Collinsworth said some things about the Raiders, though, as like what he heard from Antonio Pierce. And that was wild to me. He said, like, they're not even playing with their best player on offense. And I know Devontae Adams is here, obviously, but I'm talking about an offensive lineman trying to make a point. You hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then on the defensive side, he said, I asked Antonio Pierce about, like, the Raider way on the defensive side, who would it be? He said Bob Spillane is the guy that he would build around. I'm like, Max Crosby's right.
Yeah.
Max Crosby's right there.
No, it's Bob.
Bobby,
Bob's the guy.
Bobby had a night.
Big time pick with a broken hand.
Dump
The
truck,
linebacker
man.
too.
Yeah,
So he was
Antonio
special.
Pierce. Yeah, you're right.
Pierce might have been undrafted too, right?
The
Look at
visor.
eyes. The C, the visor.
Sweet.
He's had multiple picks in primetime games, though.
Yes.
He's known for that big neck and just putting that Rydell on people's faces. Don't sleep on the hands of Bob Spillane.
No.
This guy's a freak show athlete, and he's got great swag. Towel hanging,
Yeah.
sleeve.
41.
Pfizer.
And I think he's got a metal rod in his hand.
Yep. Yes, he does.
And you just got to pick with it.
And in his neck.
That's a guy you would want on your yeah. You want that guy on your team. I think he had a Costco hoodie on after the game, too. Hey, Bob, way to go.
Way to go, Bobo.
Antonio Pierce, way to go. Crosby, way to go. Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah.
He maybe looks the part.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well,
That jaw.
Thank you.
We got to fix the jaw strap.
Fix your chin strap.
Good stash.
That's what I meant when you said looks the part. And I said, it's crooked all night long.
He's young.
He spins it, though.
He does.
Yeah.
He's tall.
Fix your
Throw the
chin
rock.
strap.
Using Devontae, too.
Yeah, it was very clear that they said, maybe we get this guy in the game.
Snag.
That was filthy. He had a one-handed catch. He had that catch. They were looking at him all the time, which caused a pick, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's a smart thing. You get the guy in the game. Let's make sure that Devontae knows that he's a massive part of this offensive. And then after the game, I don't know if you saw Devontae in the locker room. Much different interview with Devontae after that game
Big time.
than when you're not. Bill Cowher told us, hey, you get those wide receivers some balls early. It'll be amazing. They're blocking down the field.
Yeah.
As long as they know there's a chance that they're in this thing, it's a whole different ball game. You got massage personalities as well. Feels like Antonio Pierce does that very well. All right, we'll be back on the other side, breaking it all down, plus some phone calls on this Overreaction Monday. 1-833-432-3663, 1-833-4-DODO. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Take 5.
Everybody's got Bryce Young, Will Levis, and Will Anderson above C.J. Stroud, allegedly.
Lock him in.
We will 1,000,000% continue to drive that narrative.
That is right.
Because with what my eyes seen, AJ, and what you have seen, if C.J. Stroud ends up at the Colts at number 4, I'm happy about the future of the Colts all of a sudden.
Yep.
So this will be the last time we say this. C.J. Stroud is the best quarterback in this draft class.
That's right, for sure.
We are massive fans of them. And whenever we say, whatever we say over the next few months before the draft, we would like it to not be held against us because we know we are a part of the entire system here. And we need C.J. Stroud and Indy.
Have to have him.
Plus, it's really fun to say Stroud.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need him to go Dahn to the 4th pick.
Yeah,
Right.
you think they have to trade up? Because Texans are right there at 2, and, those are the 2 quarterbacks of the future.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's an opportunity and a chance for us to move, too. We got a lot of pieces to the puzzle that aren't necessarily going to be there in the future, probably. You bundle that with the 4 overall pick, I think you could maybe move up to 1.
Yeah.
And then you get C.J. Stroud.
We have some massive news.
Lot of blessings piling up that I ain't even wish for. No, let the one for y'all. I'm locking the fridge door. At the crib, cutting hits. I read through the catalog, came to conclusion, no one's touching it. Just finished and made a voyage. I've been on the main line. Set up shot to kill them off, whatever it takes. I seen the boats, I'm at home. I'm selfish with the goals. I could give a fuck who try and get along. 6'3", you can't look me in the eyes.
Thank you, man.
Welcome the incomparable Pat McAfee.
But as soon as we get backstage, I see Serena Williams like 6 feet from me. I'm like, oh my God.
Hello, hello, hello. You look fantastic. Massive room. Did not expect to see this many incredibly important humans to the media world. And then all of a sudden, guess who pops by? Ryan Seacrest.
Pat McAfee, bro. Ryan Seacrest, how are you? Congratulations.
Legend, bro. And holy shit, Ryan Seacrest is here.
Honestly, your work ethic is something that people really inspire you.
Why am I here? Great question. Sweet cowboy hat. How you doing, dude? Makes me look thinner. The Kardashians?
Bullshit.
Come out of the elevator?
Hey, good luck out there.
Thank you.
My show, my guys and I will be joining the ESPN universe. And we are so incredibly pumped, honored, and thankful to be doing that. And a lot of people are wondering, why would you ever want to do that when you run a couple $100 million valued company with full independence and the ability to kind of do whatever I want, whenever I want, with my crew that is one of the hardest working group of men on this earth. And it's because I had the incredible opportunity over the last 2 months to chit chat with the leadership at ESPN.
I go up to a lounge, Alex Honnold, the guy that was climbing?
Yeah.
I'm like, holy fuck, that's that guy who just hangs off the side of cliffs or whatever.
And I think the future of sports media is certainly something that we're kind of creeping in on. Digital. has become an influence. It has the structure. It has the ability to reach millions and millions of people. Dan Orlovsky, after his riveting performance on the stage, which it was,
gets a Shirley Temple.
He got wine.
Okay. Wow.
The future obviously says that linear television is going to be dead. ESPN, the channel, won't be able to exist. But when is that? Is that a year from now? 10 years from now? 20 years from now? Can we get to 25, maybe 30, 35, 40? By that time, I'm 65, 70 years old, and I've completely missed out on the powerhouse that is ESPN Linear. So when I was talking to Jimmy and Burt Magnus and the Bob father, Bob Iger, somehow got a chance to be in his office for an hour and a half in Burbank. That was bananas. He's now talking, I think, to the leader of France. Dumbest life of all time continues. But they all very much understood that we need to embrace both what tomorrow is and what today is. And I have the exact same vision.
Then Joe Buck, Troy Aikman come walking in.
I'm very thankful to announce that we'll be on ESPN, ESPN Plus, the ESPN app, and for the first time, I do believe in all of sports media, we'll be live on ESPN's YouTube at the exact same time. Jimmy, Burke, Bob understood that 98% of male Gen Zers use YouTube on a daily basis. So being live there and on ESPN, we should be able to reach the entire world, hopefully, if I don't fuck it up, which I might have just did by saying the F word in this room right here.
You met the real DeMar Hamlin, not Michael B. Jordan.
Are you sure?
Not the actor, not the clone.
How's the upfronts? He is in Disney movies.
The clones look exactly the same as real people.
That's the actual clone type.
It is an incredibly special time for me. This is my first time out of my house in 2 weeks. My wife and I actually, boom, first baby. She just started farting 2 days ago. Real deal. That was a game changer. But my wife, my baby, my guys, and everybody that I know are honored to be a part of the ESPN family, and we hope that we'll be able to work with all of you. Cheers, and have an incredible day.
Good, man. How you doing? You good? Don't keep running the world, though.
Hey, no, that's you, dude. That's you. That's you.
Trip to New York, I think, was a success. The upfront was hilarious. I had no idea that room was going to be that big.
This is awesome, isn't it?
That was the most suits I've ever seen in my entire life. We're pumped to join the family, and I am very grateful that they're going to let us do it our way. And I said fuck it at Disney upfront. So.
This would be a pretty legendary thing later in life. You'll probably look at it and say, wow, that was a pretty good decision.
All right, the next chapter begins. Ain't that right, Nikki?
Hell yeah.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Overreaction Monday, November 13th, 2023. This hour 3 starts now.
Football
is happening, but we need to have a moment of silence as we kick off this third hour because this man's right eyeball is completely fucked.
That's right.
That's A.J. Hawk. He's the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
Boy, Hawker.
And, he lost a third of his cornea in his right eye just yesterday when his son, named Axel Hawk, thumbed the shit out of it.
Oh. Yep.
So this guy's probably never going to be able to see out of both his eyes ever again.
Damn.
At 100% strength. And we will celebrate the times that he had two good eyes. Remember, his two good eyes would actually
I'll tell you what,
close when he was driving. Oh.
We don't need to do that. We don't need a moment of silence for this.
Times.
What are you talking about? Yeah, you're never going to be able to.
My eye's coming back. First off, actually, once they numbed my eye up, they did a little eye test to make sure I wasn't blind. My right eye was still pretty legit reading the deal.
Oh, hell.
Pretty legit. That's a good way to describe it.
Okay.
My right eye's still pretty legit.
I mean, I couldn't keep it open for more than like 2 seconds at a time probably because it just starts gushing fluids and it burns, but I could see the letters pretty well.
How far down the triangle?
Farther than I thought I was going to make it, for real.
Yeah, but what's that mean?
I mean, I normally, my right eye is my dominant eye too, which sucks because my left eye is my weaker one. But it's gonna make a great adjustment over the next 12 hours. It's gonna even up with the right. I think that's what's gonna be good. That will come from this.
Yep. Your brain's good.
Yeah,
2 dominant.
Oh yeah. But I do realize how much we do use both of our eyes now that I've had this one gone for a while. I realize, we use both of these guys.
That's silver lining. Yeah,
Put that on the ticker.
A little bit more respect for both eyes working.
Exactly.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Do we know if there was poop on Axel's fingernails or not? Is there
one of the very first things my wife even said? She goes, "You know how dirty Axel is. You probably get an infection. You need to get something in there."
That's what I was thinking too.
Smart.
Which we did. I got drops.
Smart, man. Hey, we're happy for you, buddy. You're going to be okay.
You got it.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Thought you lost your eyeball, though, personally. Thought that was potentially going to happen when we saw. Can you take your sunglasses off real quick just to see what it could be? We should do that.
Night,
don't you think we should do that?
You can hardly even
I
tell.
mean,
Yeah, wait.
That'd
I'm
be
not
super
going to lie.
cool.
That's been
even with my eyes shut, these lights do not feel good at all on any of them, even this decent eye. But the shades do help with that, kind of, I think.
Okay. We're happy that helps.
You need the LASIK surgery glasses.
They look
the
good.
wraparound.
Yeah.
Oh, the virtual reality. Like, the old people, my brothers, we'd always say, "Oh, they're playing virtual reality." The old people that wear the big wraparound.
Yes, those people.
Yeah,
those are the
You
ones
need
you
those.
need.
They're not.
Hey, let's get one shipped. Let's get one shipped to the Hawk House over there, so we can have that for tomorrow, and then the next day, and then probably the next couple weeks, if we had to guess.
Packers helmet, dark visor.
Oh,
Do that.
How
Not a
sweet
bad
would that be?
idea.
a sweet visor would be sick if you had a helmet with a visor on this year. Oh my God, think about it for tomorrow, because this is going to be your life now. Next couple weeks, pal.
Oh no, it's going to be better than 20/20 vision. That right eye tomorrow. Cannot wait.
Just he really does believe that he can just will everything down.
Yes, you can manifest it. Absolutely.
I agree.
100%.
And words are spells.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's
No
why
doubt.
they are spelled the way they are spelled.
I don't know if you can physically manifest a
Cornea?
third of your eyeball growing
Sure you
back.
can.
I can speed it up though. I can speed it up. Last night when I went to bed, I did. I always, whenever you're hurt pretty bad, like I'm going to wake up and feel awesome tomorrow. I think I even texted you that, Pat. And unfortunately, I woke up and didn't feel even a 1% better, and I didn't really sleep either because it was a situation. So I was like, well, this one didn't work overnight. We're going to have to go back to the drawing board.
But I agree with what you're saying. You have like a little sore hammy or something. You're like, tomorrow morning, this thing's going to be okay. And you're thinking positive vibes as you go in there. And then you wake up the next day and, hey, it is better. Now, is that 9 hours of rest?
Could be.
8 hours of rest, 7 hours of rest, however long you're laying down.
Chance.
Is that why? Or is it because you had positive mojo? Well, I'm not going to find out. I am going to think positively. But when you suffer a third of your cornea getting ripped out of your face, and I couldn't even imagine how bad that hurts right now.
Oh, my
So
God.
bad.
Oh, my God. A little pebble in your eye? The worst.
Oh,
The worst. This guy had a full thumb in it. Still is.
gross.
Oh, AJ, just add it to the resume. This dude's one of the toughest dudes walking. Jazzercise can't help that.
No.
That's what Axel said. Axel.
Oh no, we're still on it though. We're still on the jazzercise with the patch.
Oh, really? Lack of sleep, no eye, right? I mean, jazzercise. Is that what you've been saying?
Yeah, I thought it might help. I thought it might help because yeah, it's weird. It is very weird. I think I've mentioned multiple times. I have not faced this kind of adversity before with this eye situation. And it's been good. I've grown from it. I've definitely grown.
What is weird? You just can't control it? You can't outwork
it? It just sucks. It sucks and it hurts like hell at all times. It's really weird. And then I'm like, oh, this is my left eye. It's not my dominant. I can't see it. I mean, I can see, but it's not safe to even walk down the steps.
Oh, no.
But you're driving
your kid to school.
Oh, yeah.
You are a menace on the streets.
The sun was coming up today. I was flipping the visor. I had my shades on. I didn't have a patch on yet because I was hoping I didn't need one. Wow. And I was flipping the visors and having my son sit in shotgun flip his visors as we were turning with the sun. I'm like, man, I can't do it. My eyes are just pouring liquid. It was awesome.
Adversity builds the Hawks.
Yep. Built on it.
Listen, we learned Axel's a dog too. Axel will, you know what I mean? Axel will attack that eye.
He's not losing sleep. He's not losing any sleep over this. Trust me.
Hey, it's a heel move. I got you.
Yeah.
It's a heel move. I love what he's doing. I love it. All right, let's dive in. We're happy you're.
I'm great. Don't worry.
All right. You know what I am very happy about?
What's that?
Yesterday, I got to watch Kyler Murray play football.
Yeah, we did.
It was awesome.
And there was a lot of conversation on whether or not Kyler Murray would even come back because this show had Michael Lombardi on, former general manager, who looked through the contract, and there was like another $56 million guaranteed if Kyler Murray came back, played this year, and got injured, or in the practice facility got injured. Similar situation to what happened with Derek Carr, which is why they actually kicked him out of the building. And you could see how maybe that would take place if they were thinking about moving on from Kyler. But all words from that building since jump have been, this is
Kyler's team. Yesterday, watching him play football again, it was like, oh yeah, I remember why he signed that massive deal, even though they haven't really won in the end. They haven't made it to a conference championship. They haven't done anything. He's fucking electrifying. Yep. He can throw the ball all over the place. And he extends a play late in the fourth where it's just like and they're not going to tackle him there. No Even if that guy was in position, no shot. He's been doing that since year one here, in college at Oklahoma, in high school in Texas, where he won, I think, like 17 straight state championships in only 4 years of high school, because he's able to do that right there whenever he wants. Drafted top 10 in the MLB and obviously number 1 in the NFL. He had a little moxie too yesterday. He put out a video that said, my perspective has changed after I've been gone for 335 days. They took the game away from me. Maybe this is the most mature Kyler Murray. Maybe this is the best Kyler Murray. And with the way shots are going to be had with new coach Gannon, and that one obviously not the best throwing ball, it's like maybe we're about to see the best Kyler Murray. And there's game winner for Matt Prater. He's been doing that for 50 years. I think he hit from 55 earlier in the game as well. Just an absolute fucking beast of a kicker, and has been for a long time. It was great to see Kyler back out there, D-Butt.
Absolutely. You say he can play his best football. Why not? He obviously had a perspective, and a lot of people forget about the talent. There has been some, blunders in the playoffs and late in the season. But when you talk about moving on from a quarterback, you just talked about the situation in Green Bay. Like, the grass isn't always green. The dude was drafted number 1 for a reason, made a couple Pro Bowls out of the gate, played well enough to get another deal. Is it a lot of money guaranteed and owed to him? Absolutely, but that's just the price of doing business in the league. So I love to see it for him being back out there. I'm sure the guys in the locker room got a big push from it. And then Jonathan Gannon, I'm sure that was a big part of the conversation when taking the head coaching job. Kyler, this being his team.
Bingo. AJ, what do you think Gannon saw out of Kyler yesterday that he loved? What did you see from Kyler that made you believe, okay, we're about to get the best Kyler? Or did you not see that?
Honestly, I thought I was not shocked, but I was somewhat surprised with how good he looked physically, how well he ran the ball too. Like that, extending the play and then getting that big, huge third down. That's what he's done his whole career, but it's crazy to see his very first game back coming off an ACL. We all know people who have had ACLs talk about that. It's like a big mental hurdle to get over that. Taking some shots, planting, everything. He looked like he had zero reservations. He had nothing holding him back, and he's slanging the ball around the yard too, man. He looked good, like very good.
No knee brace either, which, sometimes they just put on there just for like safety or whatever, and a lot of guys hate it. Yeah, AJ, you just said you like that. I'm sure D-Butt said the same thing. I don't think I've ever met anybody other than maybe an offensive lineman who has 4 blown knees who like wearing knee braces. It slows you down. It naturally does. Von Miller, I don't know if he's wearing one tonight, but has been wearing one, and it certainly affected him. So to see Kyler, no knee brace, playing the way that he played, it's like, hey, this dude, they literally waited.
Playing reckless.
100%.
Wasn't it cool to see him play reckless? Like, hey, was not worried about his own safety or about his knee, which you could have easily understood a little bit if he had some of that. But no, he was playing to win. Like, you could tell. Those comments about like having a new perspective and football being taken away from you, like, I think that's 100% real. Like, it sucks balls when you can't play. If you're hurt and you're away from your team, especially for this long, like it's pretty difficult.
And you see them have a little bit of success, and people talk about, this Dobbs guy, maybe he's the guy. Mm-hmm. And then you hear people like Lombo say, they might try to save money and not put this guy on the field. It's like, that's the first time I assume he's been able to digest a lot of terrible things being said about him. Like, that's a very motivating thing. Does that make you like kind of back down and disappear, or does it make you dial in and get even better? Do you listen to it a little bit? Because during rehab and stuff, you're isolated. There's a lot of time, especially now in 2023, you're on your phone probably, So I assume that he has heard the things that have been said about him over the past, but not in the volume in which I assume during this rehab process was. So if you're an elite talent and you have this new perspective and potentially a whole nother, is that right, mentality?
Yeah.
I think there's a chance. And it's a massive win yesterday. Sucks for Ari.
Yeah, tough.
Sucks for Artie Smith down there in Atlanta. It sucks for them. But for the Cards and their fans, it's like the hope for the future is all the way back after trading away Josh Dobbs, who seemingly gave you the only little glimmer of hope that you had.
Yeah, like the new perspective, absolutely. There's got to be some sort of the reproving to Gannon and those guys. Like, hey, this wasn't – obviously you guys didn't pay me, but I am still the right guy for this job, because watching him play when he's playing like that is one of the most entertaining quarterbacks in the NFL. And granted, he's throwing to Trey McBride, who was a third-round pick, and Hollywood Brown and stuff, but this is also his first season with Arizona, right, in the last few years without D-Hop. And he's still balling without D-Hop.
You bring up an interesting point there because new GM, new coach, like the ownership picked him over them. So, like, there's even more on his show. Like, hey, this is your legacy. Just like Goody
bingo.
with Jordan Love, like the legacy of Kyler is they picked me over coach and GM who got paid alongside of me, and it didn't work. They got rid of him. So you start stacking all those things up. There's a lot of motivation. There's a lot of motivation for Kyler that I don't want to say wasn't there in the past, but like you get drafted top 10 in baseball, you win all the time. You get drafted number 1 overall for football, you win all the time. There might be a little bit of this shit's easy mentality, you know? And I don't want to say you get comfortable, but...
Relief syndrome, you mean, as Coach Saban says?
Boom. There might be a little bit of that. So you get the game taken away from you. You get picked over the head coach and the GM. Then you hear what everybody's saying, and you start seeing some other stuff happen. Maybe you learn even a little bit from watching Josh Dobbs operate from behind the scenes, what he's doing, what he's not doing. It's like there could have been a lot of things that made Kyler Murray this maybe the best Kyler Murray we've seen. I'm fucking here for it.
I'm excited for the chip stacking because we know when he did sign the deal, obviously it had that addendum in it where he had to watch film, so that's when he probably start hearing the most shit talked about him. But you mentioned it, his most decorated high school quarterback out of Texas coming out, then going on to college, winning a Heisman, going in first overall pick. Like you have all these different things, but now can you take that next step? Can you be that leader in the locker room, doing things away from the field, off seasons, film study, all these different things? Now you have the elite talent. You've done a lot of shit that no one else can hold a resume up to. Now can you take that next step and be a great one?
Think about this. It's almost like he got traded to his own team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
New coach, new GM, young squad. You're away for a little bit. Still there, but away. Then you get dropped back in there. It's like you could almost redo a lot of things that maybe you did differently at another place. You know what I mean, AJ?
I think, haven't you ever heard, we've heard veterans, like vets talk about, like if they go to a new team and they've got an established resume, they're like, hey, I still want to show these guys like who I am. They may have known of me watching me play or playing against me, but I need to show them like how I work, why I am this good. And I think Kyler could be in a situation like that.
Hell yeah, Kyler.
Aaron said that, right? Going to New York.
Yeah. Remember the Spurs OTAs? They were doing slow motion shots.
Throwing ropes.
And you could just hear climaxes around the field from all the coaches, front office people, even ticket sales people. Like, you see
this guy's really fucking
marketing people are like, holy fuck, look what we have out here. This is awesome. You get a whole new opportunity to do that. And you're right, Kyler gets to do that with Gannon, gets to do that with
Monty Offendorf.
Boom. There it is.
Yeah. Well, and for all those people, saying how they wanted them to lose and then draft like either Caleb Williams or one of these guys who like it just again like you have no idea if Caleb Williams is going to be good in the NFL or Drake May. Like
AJ, you think Caleb Williams is going to be good in the NFL?
I mean, yeah, I think he's going to be good, but when is he going to get drafted? And I don't know how. There's just everything just seems crazy right now.
Sorry about that.
No, it's just like and people are saying he's got part of his game is like that kind of stuff. Like when Kyler is healthy, like D-Butt mentioned it, there are maybe one or two other guys in the NFL who can actually do what he does. And like if he does have that extra chip on his shoulder and he's kind of like enlightened now because he has been away, like why the hell would you roll the dice on getting rid of him and then put yourself in a position where it's like, oh, we drafted Drake May and this guy, I mean, we should have known he did. He could beat Virginia and now he.
You know why? In non-sold out stadium.
Yeah.
They're on a college football playoff run. They lose it in an empty stadium.
Yeah.
Damn.
Tough.
That can't happen. That's tough. If I was the coach, I'd be like, hey, listen, cannot lose this game. They didn't fill this place up. Yeah. We cannot lose to a team that can't fill up a stadium. That cannot happen. But you think about what happened in Houston, though. That gives every team hope.
True.
Because if you do draft a guy number 2 overall, and he is just the guy.
Dog.
I don't know. CJ has some shit to him, though. And we saw it, just hear him talking. Like, he got some shit. I don't see that with Caleb. I see talent-wise, but like, as far as like just the mannerisms, just different things with the team. Just even
it's hard to predict.
Look, it's an emotional game. I get it. We saw it with the Michigan offensive coordinator at the game. Jumping in the stands, crying to your mom, like that. All those type of things are.
What's that about?
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what other people say other places. That's the guys in the locker room are looking at that shit like,
Well, new generation.
Yeah,
it's a
emotional.
new generation.
Emotional
Sabrina Butler would have told me, man, if you don't get your ass up, and take your ass in that locker room and cry. And look, I done cried after games. You know, you put a lot into that shit. I'm glad that it means something to him, especially with what he's accomplished already. But those are things that factor in. And if you have a draft comp, Kyler Murray is Caleb Williams probably draft comp for a lot of these, pro scouts. A bigger Kyler Murray.
You sound like an old yelling at the clods. You don't understand this new generation.
Being honest.
You don't understand.
Bunch of grown-ass men, you got to come in there and lead, buddy.
I will say billionaires are inevitably making the decision on when to draft who. So I'll be excited to see what team ends up with the number 1 overall pick, if they keep it or who tries to get there to get Caleb Williams. Because you talk to some of these college football people, they're like, you think any of these teams want to be the ones that passed on Caleb Williams? And I'm like, well, these teams have the number 1 overall pick. These teams suck. Their resume is already saying one particular thing about him. And it's like, that's how I think a lot of people view Caleb Williams in the college world. And then we watch him play against Washington and watch him make some highlights. It's like, holy shit, this guy is fantastic. Assuming he's just going to be great in the NFL, though, is what? I think it's happening with Bryce Young, not Bryce Young. So what's the situation, how it all goes? And with Kyler, you talk about the grass not being always greener on the other side. It's like they're experiencing that in Green Bay. If they were to move on, they don't get it. What is Arizona just in a cycle for the next 20 years?
Yeah.
So that's why the ownership had to stay with Kyler after they pay him instead of the coach, Cliff Kingsbury, who's now with Caleb. Fascinating situation in USC. And then also the GM, Steve, gets kind of sent out of there. It's a wild scene. Let's go to Houston, though. This fucking guy.
Dog.
AJ. He's the one. He's the one. He's like, you got generations of this shit now. I think it's like every 4 years, we'll say, 5 years. This one seems to be the one. This one, he has rookie records right now that are not supposed to be touched with the way football is. Now, I know it's much more of a passing game and everything like that, but with passing comes sophisticated defenses and offenses. So it's definitely not a benefit to young quarterbacks who have never seen an NFL defense before, or a young quarterback who has a bunch of new pieces around him in an offense he's never heard before. So you're kind of stacked up against being great as a rookie quarterback. And this fucker's great. He's not just good, AJ. He is phenomenal. And Debo, you talk about us getting a chance to chat with him and him having a little bit of shit to him. Nothing but respect, though. He's like super duper respectful.
Oh, yeah.
But he does have this moxie and swagger that you would love in a franchise quarterback. It working so quickly, so well. Without his best guy yesterday, he goes into the jungle and beats the Bengals. I mean, it's fucking phenomenal. He rallies the troops. He rallies the city. It's like...
It's good defense, too.
This is a guy.
He did OH after one of these. Do we have it?
I would assume this is the one, right? Oh, cut it off. Oh.
There's a lot of people, guarantee there's a lot of Ohio State people that are pumped to watch that quarterback in battle, too. I know that.
Okay, you talk about a good defense and obviously only having... fourth quarter comeback against Joe Burrow in Cincinnati after having to answer. I mean, it's the shit that you dream of whenever you're saying, old buddy right there, Noah
Brown,
he's
former
a
Cowboy. 150
plus last two. I mean, he's phenomenal. We never heard of him. So whenever teams like, well, they don't have enough weapons because we don't hurt them, it's like C.J. Stroud made weapons.
Yeah.
Like he made these guys into a superstar-driven offense. And hell of a game winner, though, for Amendola, who just got there. No rookie quarterback, to your point, had ever thrown for 300 yards against a Lou Anarumo defense before Stroud did yesterday.
Wow.
356.
It's impressive, man. I played with Andrew Luck, rookie, obviously, had a rookie head coach with Chuck. Played with Cam his rookie year, rookie head coach Ron Rivera. And the thing about those two guys, and you were in the locker room too, like the moment was never too big for them. Like sometimes shit just start moving too fast. Assholes start getting tight on that sideline. People start getting nervous. Never too big for these guys. You see the same thing with CJ from the moment he stepped into the league with D'Amico Ryans as the head guy over there. So the future is definitely bright out there in Houston.
In consecutive weeks, the Texans have, this is an interesting Hembo stat here. Shout out to Hembo. In consecutive weeks, the Texans have scored 69 total points against defenses coached by Todd Bowles and Lou Anarumo.
Wow.
Stroud threw for 826 combined yards and scored on 13 of the 25 drives that he had. I mean, great stat. Thank you, Hembo.
Good boy, Hembo.
But also, C.J. Stroud, they're talking about offensive rookie of the year, obviously. Okay, seems like that one's
MVP. Are they talking MVP maybe?
Bingo. Yeah, that's where we were headed. I feel like the Rookie of the Year is signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah,
it's his, and now MVP conversation has to happen. He's leading the NFL, I believe, in pass yards. No rookie's done that since something. And then Sammy Baugh. Sammy Baugh is third. I mean, it's like this is few and far between what we're watching here. Davey O'Brien in 1939.
Yeah,
obviously
quarterback award, right?
Yeah, college. Yep.
Wow.
And then punting Sammy Baugh, who also played quarterback alongside being a punter back in 1937. He had the punting record for a long time. But yeah, it's unprecedented what this fucking guy's doing, leading the NFL.
It was also good because we talked about Goff, how he always seems to bounce back. Stroud threw his second interception of the year, and it wasn't a good one, and it let the Bengals back in the game. And then he, to bounce back from that, that's huge. I know there wasn't any Bengals fans left in the stadium to see it, but that was huge.
Jeez.
Yeah, I heard that, Tony.
Yeah, had to send it in there at the end.
Well, they coordinated a mass exodus with about 4 or 5 minutes left in the game.
A lot happened.
Yeah, they missed everything.
A lot happened in those final 4 or 5 minutes. Traffic's crazy, AJ. Right? Cincinnati traffic's crazy. I'd be getting out.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I understand a little
I had to piss.
Different in Ohio.
What are you gonna do?
Another interesting Hembo stat will stay in the AFC North. In the fourth quarter, the Ravens in their 3 losses have 10 points on 12 drives.
Ooh, nice.
That's not good.
Not good.
That's not good at all. The Ravens obviously lost to the Colts, Steelers, and the Browns. Cleveland ran it for 178 yards against a defense that was only allowing 92 yards a game. That's not too shabby. Ravens scoring defense, overall first. Congratulations.
Wow.
Fourth quarter, 25th. That's when it matters. That's when it matters. I don't know what that's all about. Stay in the AFC North. What is wrong with the Ravens defense there? What is going on? What's the deal?
I don't know.
They were so good last week, too.
We were just talking like a week ago about them being
best in the
NFL.
Yeah. What were they up, 31-17?
Yep. In the fourth.
Yeah.
Commanders' defense also looked incredible against the Seahawks yesterday, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gino will give you some.
Oh, got it. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but
that's not good news, though, for a team if they're going to be what everybody's saying, hey, quiet, sneaky team in the AFC to win this whole thing. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. It's like, they're going to tighten the fuck up.
They looked really, really good on offense. And then there was the pick six, a bad pick six, and then things just sometimes stop working in that offense. It kind of feels like when we talked about the MLB playoffs or something like that, and the Phillies, they were super, super hot, and then it feels like that offense for some reason goes on cold streaks.
Last season they had that issue too, jumping blowing second half leads. It's just been their thing. They got to obviously figure it out though.
Yeah, you're talking about this is the best Lamar's been though.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So hopefully some of these narratives can flip, but don't love what happened to him yesterday. Come on, Browns, big time comeback. Good win for them though. Congrats to the Browns. We'll stay in the AFC North again, shall we? Talk about offenses. The Steelers' last 2 games, 371 rush yards at 5.6 yards a clip, 66 to 53 run pass ratio. Matt Canada goes and becomes Matt America on the sideline.
Exactly.
He says we need to run the rock.
It makes sense because it's literally the only thing that they are good at right now is they've run the ball super well. Because other than that, they just throw back shoulder fades to the outside. That's their only pass play that I think they run. But with Warren and Najee, and like I said, since Broderick has come in and started at right tackle, they've gelled and been moving.
AJ, 3 teams in NFL history in the NFL right now have exactly a minus 26 point differential. The 3-6 Rams, the 3-6 Titans, and the 6-3 Steelers.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Makes sense.
They just keep finding ways to win games. It's nuts. It really is crazy to see. It's kind of fun to watch. Okay, how are they going to figure this one out today?
Yeah,
they just want to pound the rock and let your studs on defense try to get after them.
So that's the Tomlin difference. That's why everybody's like, yeah, Tomlin's a great coach. Why would you ever get rid of Tomlin? He's able to win with these teams that aren't good, not supposed to win. It's like, well, how come every year the team's not supposed to be good? Can we fix that? What is that?
And with the point differential, when they lose, they're going to lose, okay? It's going to look really bad, and they're going to lose by 30 points, okay? And when they win, it's going to be by 3-7, and it's going to be super close, and you're going to lose a couple years off your life.
So the point differential is always going to look tough for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pat, I have an interesting stat from us for you.
Oh, I like that.
Who is the quarterback with the longest current active streak of passes without an interception in the NFL right now?
Oh, Kenny Pickett, it sounds
Boom.
like. That's what it. Wow, that was good trivia.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was really good trivia. You got to play the person asking the question, obviously, the time.
Yeah, good guess.
We knew it was Kenny Pickett immediately.
Yeah.
Actually, Nick was trying to figure out whether or not he wanted to use that as a stat and say it or a fun fact for trivia.
Ooh. That's exactly what happened.
There was a good delivery there. I think that was a good choice. Kenny Pickett slinging it. He protects the ball.
Look out.
He protects the ball. Let's talk about the red zone defense for the Pittsburgh Steelers, because the defense normally what's going to win them games and keep them in games. And last 2 weeks, they've had 24 red zone defense plays. They allowed only 30 yards, not a lot of yards on her.
No.
2 touchdowns on 7 drives. Kind of clamping it down there.
Pretty good.
As I was watching these teams get in the red zone and only be able to kick field goals, or other teams get into red zone and score touchdowns, I thought to myself, getting in the red zone is like putting, Like, you see people that get birdies, they're good putters.
Yeah.
Those people are able to make putts.
Very well.
But these teams that get people can get their red zone. People can get on the green. Are you able to? And that's why you see field goals. Like there was a time where you saw like 6 field goal kickers come on the field. It's like, just can't get in there. Just can't do it. They're letting you almost in there. Just can't make the putt. Just can't get in there. So you're only taking 3. That's been the story of this year.
Man.
This year has been like that a lot.
Because it's so much harder for the offense once you get down there, because now as a defense, we don't have to worry about you taking shots. So now everything is condensed. All the windows are smaller. And at some point, as you get closer, now you get into kind of that cat and mouse game. And for a defensive coordinator, okay, do I send a bunch of pressure at this guy, or do I drop, 7, 8 in the coverage and make it tighter for them, find a window? But for defenses, like, you get down there, the first thing we start saying to each other, hey, we got to bow up, hold them to 3. In the offense, you just need – that's why you see a lot of offense, too. Once they just get in there, they take a shot. As soon as they're at the top of the red zone or in that fringe area, kind of 35 to 25, it's tough down there in the red area, though.
That's where you got to, that's where the good – that's where you find out who's good.
Got to save those plays, too.
Yeah, you got to get creative.
Yeah.
You got to save them, but you got to execute them. And you got to be able – I guess running the ball is a big deal, but quarterback has to be able to put the ball That's where it gets exposed.
Quarterback scrambles.
Tight windows on time.
Yeah, that's where everything gets exposed.
In perfect windows. I saw a couple where goal line they're running slants, and you just throw it even in the college game these weekends when I'm watching them, a couple slants and the ball's just a little bit behind him, and that's all it takes for not be a touchdown.
Because you gotta really whiz it.
Oh yeah,
and anticipate.
Spin that thing.
Those windows are so tight. You gotta anticipate that shit.
And dodge the D lineman too. You gotta dodge the D lineman arms too when you're that close.
And you have to know where the fuck you're supposed to go. Yeah, because there's certain on certain plays you're supposed to go to a certain place, even if that's your third. It's like what they're showing you. This is where we're headed. And in the red zone, these plays are developing fast. So you got to know that almost it's crazy.
Easier to double team.
Too. And that's why that stat, I would assume, is a very important one in the end, because who's actually fucking good? Who can do it down here and who's not? who can get here, but who's actually good? I think that's probably a determiner.
For sure. And one more thing, you don't practice it that much. You get one, maybe 2 red zone periods throughout the week, usually on Fridays. You do red area. I know Tom and Tom with New England, he would always get down there and do low red zone where they're working the front line and the back line with the big tight ends and shit. But a lot of teams, you just don't. You have your 2-minute drive. That's probably once or twice a week, and then red area is one of those other. And you think about it, those are 2 of the big, most important.
Third down, red area.
Yeah, third down and red area. 2-minute, those situations. That's what games typically come down to. But you don't get a ton of practice time.
I mean, we were this close to the Chargers going 0 for 8 against the Lions on a goal-to-go chance. This close. They had the 4th down, 4th and goal stop, got a penalty, and then ran it right back. And then it was just that slant in the back of the end zone that got him on 4th.
Massive stop on 4th down with a penalty coming, and just on defense. I know you guys are supposed to just, next play. That has to be demoralizing.
Oh.
Or how about Prochet?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Punt returner for the Browns?
Mm-hmm.
Myles Garrett, I think, had a chain on or something.
He did.
Back-to-back sack.
Back-to-back sack. They were going crazy. The whole momentum was going to the Browns, obviously. And then Prochet, former Raven, calls a fair catch. Just casual with this. Very casual. I loved how casual he was.
Looks sweet.
If he just snagging fair catches, swagging out fair catches, awesome.
Very cool.
So boom, it goes through, and the Ravens, I just thought about somebody telling Myles, take the chain off. We're back. We are back. And now, by the way, only 9 yards.
First goal.
We only got 9 yards to defend. That is, I guess Chuck used to say, put the fire out. Put the fire out was the whole thing. But boy, if I'm dead or gassed, and then I got to step back out there on a penalty or something like that, I could see how people get very pissed on the defensive side of the ball, AJ.
Yeah, I would love to see one time. What if Myles just throws his helmet on and runs out there with the chain on? No, hey, the ref's got to stop him somehow. He always tucks it in.
Let's go some more interesting stats from Hembo. Mac has 2 game-winning drives in 3 seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Mac Jones' average completion this season has traveled 4.3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. That's good for 32nd in the NFL.
Okay.
Higher than I thought.
Well, yeah, I would assume it would be behind the line of scrimmage. This team stinks, dude. AJ.
That's the worst throw I've ever seen.
Well, I understand. We're kind of piling on here, but
short tone?
Watching them 9:30 a.m. I don't know. Kenny Pickett's probably sent a couple out there.
Whoa,
that stinks sometimes.
Zappy, he had one.
Zappy threw one at that fake
Yeah, but
spike.
that's
Backup
spike.
quarterback brought in.
What a
minutes left.
I thought it was a touchdown. I thought it was going for 6.
Yeah.
He threw that one
After
very
that fake, yeah.
very
Bro,
casually.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the Germans, by the way. You know, not only singing throughout that entire thing and keeping the energy and chugging booze and getting much more lit as the game went on.
Yep.
Obviously, like audio-wise, could hear they were getting a little bit looser towards the end. It was a great experience. We hope there's more games in Germany. 3 in London, 2 in Germany. That ends the international series. Awesome stuff. Shout out to them for all showing up. Colts get a big-time win. But watching that Patriots team, AJ, I don't know how much of that game you got to watch. 9:30 starts tough. I don't love it. I'm going to be honest. I do not love it.
A lot of this. A lot of that.
A lot of that.
Buddy, they're terrible. It is so. Now, the Colts, big-time win. Let's not.
Huge win.
Huge win.
Matt.
We are not going to undersell it. Watching that Patriots team was tough. It was really tough to watch that game. 9:30 a.m. too. It was very, very difficult. I watched just because it like almost got to the point of the Broncos Colts did last year, where it's like, wow, this game sucks. Something has to happen, and it just for the Patriots never felt like it was ever going to happen. You know what I mean? Like never felt like it was ever going to happen. And it's crazy to think that this is where we are with this Patriots team, AJ.
It's scary, yeah. And all I was thinking was, man, this can be a terrible flight home. They're so far away. Like you're going to walk on again, try to keep your eyes down. Don't look at any coaches up front. You don't want them calling you up there with their iPad. Hey, so come here, let's just rewatch this second half together or something. Like that's your nightmare right there.
Yeah, 8 hours could do that with every player, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jeez. Germany's far.
Long ride.
Far. You were born there.
Yep, Frankfurt.
Patriots stink as bad as I'm saying it. Did you watch that entire game? It was so tough to watch.
That was some bad ball.
Bad
football. As bad as it is, hey, that Colts playing ride home.
Good times.
Probably awesome, but yeah, that was some bad ball to watch. But Colts 5-5, you know.
A lot of ball left.
Don't look down.
Don't look
What
down.
do the Patriots do?
Huh?
What are the Patriots going to do? Like, what's going to happen?
Well, they keep talking like reality is they're going to get rid of Bill. Like Diana Rossini said, sources she has around the building have told her that everybody is kind of under the assumption that there'll be a mutual parting of ways, I think is how she worded it all between the Patriots and Bill Belichick. And then allegedly Bill Belichick leaked the information about his contract a couple months or weeks back.
Sure.
Like, well, if I leave, they owe me a lot of money.
For sure.
Just a little reminder to the crafts that this happens. And then Lombardi, who's very close to the situation, knows a lot of people involved. He's acting like there's a chance that Bill could be coaching somewhere else. So it's like, that's a wild turn of events here in the middle of a team that we just, he's the GM and the head coach for all these years. It's like the same thing. And now he's like, well, I'm not done. And it's a crazy situation, AJ, that I never thought I would see, honestly.
Yeah, me either. We knew there's going to be a time when Bill Belichick is not the coach of the Patriots, but I feel like we all thought we had a lot of time left before we saw that.
Yeah, and I don't think you ever think about like the last couple of days. You know what I mean? You always think about like, oh, Bill's going to die on the sidelines up there in Patriots, and then you think about it, it's like, I guess ownership says he's not dying on our sideline, because we're trying to win the game that he dies upon, and that's not happening here at all. Robert Kraft said yesterday in his interview, he said we're 2-7. I've never been 2-7. That's literally what he said, and I'm like, oh, okay. So there is a little bit of what the hell do we got going on here, Con Man? I feel like you guys are in the middle of a massive. Okay, we're gonna move on. What does that look like? Who has the gut sack to go into New England after Bill Belichick? Every single decision you make is going to be judged to what Bill Belichick would have done on his best day.
Yes.
Every single game you're going to be expected to win. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to win that's a tough gig. However they decide to do this, I don't see how it works out, but I'm pumped for whoever it is.
Yeah, for sure. And like the team definitely isn't good. The defense is great. Like, the defense is good. We're still playing well, and we're missing our 2 best players on defense. That side of the football is fine. It's a quarterback problem. It's an offensive line problem. It's a weapons problem. The entire offense, there's nothing that we do well. And Ramondre Stevenson, for whatever reason, him and, Zeke have kind of been the bright spots, but saying that is kind of saying, there's only a little bit of shit instead of a ton of shit. It's not good at all. But you mentioned, no one really saw this coming. I think going into the year, when we looked at the Patriots schedule, there was a massive chance that this is where we were. We had the hardest or the third hardest schedule in the NFL, so it was a big, if Mac is good, then we have a chance to go to the playoffs. But no one thought that we'd be, 2-8. I beat Buffalo, which I guess is wild now looking at it. But yeah, hopefully you hold on to Bill. I would like to. I doubt there's many people outside of the building who want to come in. That's why the thought is just hire Mayo. He's been there, and at least he knows something about what the team can do.
So then Bill's going to go coach somewhere else, and Bill's tree is going to still coach in New England?
Well, I mean, Bill's tree, we've talked about this, those guys going places and acting like huge pricks. I would hope that Mayo is kind of new guard of that situation. But with Bill O'Brien, you can kind of keep him there. Him on with Mac is clearly done.
You don't think he's going?
Bill O'Brien? No, I assume anybody under contract, we're not just going to fire all of them.
Really?
Especially
I assume they clean house if they do.
Bill.
You don't think Bill O'Brien's going with Bill Belichick if Bill Belichick goes somewhere else?
Maybe he does. I mean, that's kind of the split thing, right? Is that we shit on Bill for all these things, the draft, him without Brady, and then at the same time, we're also saying, no, this guy can come in and change your building. So there's a lot of people saying that he'll change the building, and they were saying that, he's not great on his own. But then those same people, there's a lot of contradiction right now with Bill Belichick, which makes sense, I guess, because the waters are so muddy. But I really don't know.
This is the Packers with Aaron Rodgers at the end thing.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here. That's what happened. That's what's
exactly
kind of it is.
That's why I want to keep him.
Everybody's just kind of sick of the shit of the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
But other people are like, "Yo, that ain't shit. That's actually a gold mine.
Yeah,
we love that." They had a parade for Aaron when he went to New York.
Oh yeah,
at numerous places.
Yeah.
Like, hey, come to Madison Square Garden. It's Aaron Rodgers tonight. He's here for the Rangers. He's here for the Knicks. Oh, come to Book of Mormon play.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers is actually going to be Brother Aaron, the lead of this thing. It was like that everywhere he was. And it's like that was not the vibe in Green Bay that we were seeing. We might not, I assume it wasn't 100% of the people, but it did get to that point where Aaron's kind of, I don't want to say greatness, but that was what he's being judged against almost. And it's like now Bill is being judged against good Bill. And it's like, well, where Bill is now, is there somebody else that's going to come in, you think, and get you back to good Bill? Or are you going to be chasing the dragon always? We shall see. We shall see at both sides.
There's always, you guys saw Aaron and Bill, and, there's, no matter how good it is, there's always a point where there's going to be some sort of drop-off, and the fan base is going to get tired of whoever it is, and whoever's there is going to get tired of,
for sure.
We remember Seven's good times, but there was a period where we were ready for him to go too.
Oh yeah, that's fandom. I think that's relationships as a whole.
Yeah.
On that note, Pat, remember the Cowboys had that great dynasty under Tom Landry for so long, and then he kind of faded out, and the game kind of passed him by. Jerry Jones takes over the team. They hire Jimmy Johnson. He's the next coach after Tom Landry, and they stink for a year, but then they become the early Cowboys dynasty in the 90s. Same thing with Steelers. They had Chuck Noll forever through the 80s. He kind of stunk towards the end. Cowher comes in, kind of reinvents things. And
so the dynasties, you said, have had the ability to find the next one.
I'm not saying it's easy, but it has been done.
Yeah, because it's 27 of the 32 teams have certainly stumbled into, oh shit, we should not, we did not hire the right head coach. But that's a tough thing to get right.
They usually get the quarterback right too.
Yeah,
whether it's Big Ben or Bradshaw or Walsh with Montana and Young, usually that's taken care of. But when Bill does move on, inevitably teams will be lined up. These owners will be lined up to get him in there, even if they don't necessarily win a Super Bowl. Do those things. When you go around the league, everywhere you go, people want to know what's going on in there. Just give me some of that Patriot sauce. What's the Patriot? What's this? What's that? So these owners will be super intrigued by just being able to have him in the building and put his stamp on things.
Last stat here from Hembo. ESPN has the Patriots as the worst offensive line in pass protection of the last 4 seasons at a 44% win rate. Now, what does that mean? Who knows? AQ Shipley hates that I even said that.
Yep, for sure.
Just hates that I even said that because who knows who's doing what job right or wrong.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, there's a stat that they have found that they've judged against the other 31 teams with the same exact kind of judgment, and the Patriots are the worst. So
Yeah.
is it Mac Jones? Is it the protection? Is it the offense? Is it everything?
Yeah, it's
so many questions. They got to restart. Got to restart.
Don't you think the caveat too, though, like with the Patriots right now, is like if Bill does not coach the Patriots next year, and let's say he goes to the Chargers or whatever, and then they win a Super Bowl, like Kraft saw Brady leave the Patriots, win a Super Bowl. Like I don't know if he could ever live with himself if he saw
that would be awesome.
Bill leave and win a Super Bowl as
So
well.
Jim Irsay saw Peyton.
Yeah, same deal.
Go to Denver and win a Super Bowl. I would assume that every thought he has going forward will be like, brother, we will wait 2 or 3 more extra years if we have to before that whole thing took place. So let's go to some overreactions.
Sure.
Do you want to wrap it up?
You mentioned Bill being compared to good Bill. Bill is only compared to Brady. That is it. It's not Bill in Bill during the dynasty.
Oh, it's Bill Brady era.
It's Bill and Tom. Yeah, he doesn't get any compare. The only thing is Brady with Bill and Bill without him. He doesn't get any of that. Like, oh, he was a great coach during the Brady era. That narrative's out the window. People don't think he is a good coach, like bar none, which is crazy to me, obviously.
awesome.
But people really feel that he is not a good coach.
Well, Tom certainly helps.
Absolutely.
Having
just like Mahomes helps Andy Reid.
But Tom's not changing his kids' oil and stuff like that. 7 a.m. In the morning in a nice beach town somewhere.
That's right.
Tarps off.
He ain't laying pipe like Bill either. In the
We
ground.
don't know that.
In the ground. Like he helps construction.
We don't know.
Tom Brady, we do know.
You don't know.
He doesn't have enough time to do that.
Tom Brady could lay pipe all over the yard if he had to.
If he had to. I don't think he is.
Bill didn't go to high school. He went to the
Vocational.
Yeah, thank you.
Vocational school.
Trade school.
For pipe laying. And let me
When
tell
did you guys come up with this?
He was top.
Feels like this is a little bit of a.
He showed up in the mornings, but then he did go to the vocational,
I got a lot of people that have talked to me. I assume you guys as well in your private conversations with people, saying they're really thankful we covered that ring video.
Yeah,
because if not, then who?
Bingo.
Journalism.
Bingo.
Has anyone asked him about it yet? Like, is is Tom E. Kern going to ask him?
Yeah, he did. And Bill said, yeah. So I had an orgy. So what?
No, we don't know if that's what happened. We believe that
barrel chest.
That must have been an AI video.
Just an absolute beast, dude.
Look at his lats when he turns around. His lats are not messing around. He could fly away.
Momoa is shaking in his boots.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, obviously.
So, but that could have been anything. Everybody's just automatically assuming what Connor's assuming because Connor would like to think that way about his hero, Bill Belichick. That's how he views it. I thought there was a chance there was a Make-A-Wish event in there.
Yeah,
could have been a kids Belichick boys trip.
Exactly.
They could have just got done going fishing. He had to go out the other side. Why are you being so quiet? Well, one of the boys was sleeping in that room. He had to get his keys to his car so I could go get him another pillow so he could sleep sounder.
Yeah.
That might have been what Bill Belichick was doing.
That's certainly possible. Going and getting the boys Egg McMuffins. Nice little treat when you wake up.
So good. Canadian ham, which is just what Canadian bacon, which is just ham. Why do you guys do that?
Back bacon?
Huh?
Back bacon?
Why are you talking about Bill?
I'm talking about Egg McMuffin.
Yeah, that's
Back
what it
of
is.
pig.
Canadian bacon is just back bacon.
So good, dude. Egg McMuffin.
What's American bacon?
home run.
Front
So
bacon?
good.
Just regular bacon.
Yeah, gut bacon.
Gut bacon. Matt America. He's
Matthew Sidelines America?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if
Hey,
he
what
is
kind of
just-
Make-A-Wish?
Good.
I'm sorry. What kind of Make-A-Wish would have Bill shirtless inside
That was the wish.
a house?
You're right. It could have been any philanthropical event, though. It didn't have to just be Make-A-Wish. I
Maybe they was
apologize.
benching. Maybe they were benching. Maybe it was a Make-A-Wish like, hey, we want to bench with Bill. And he was like, you know what, guys, I don't feel good unless my shirt's off. When I go over 405, I take my shirt off. So here we go.
Yeah, it could have been bench or squat, and we've seen him squat before.
Yes.
Could have been a dream.
Maybe they were
Make-A-Wish.
measuring body fat with his neighbors, like AJ does.
And Bob Carpenter.
Yeah.
The Make-A-Wish could have been like, hey, I want to suck Bill's dong. But how do we know
boy.
that wasn't one of the Make-A-Wish
It's usually for kids,
situations?
though, right?
Kids, yeah.
It's for everybody who has cancer.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is. It's not just,
Not
a kid,
just
but a
for
lot of
kids.
people think it is. So maybe.
Yeah, but it's not.
I don't know.
You're
You probably
pretty
have gotten a lot
terrible
of requests for that.
I mean, every single segment that you guys have seen on, ESPN that is Make-A-Wish as a kid for sure. But yeah, other people have cancer, guys. The adults get wishes too.
We agree.
It's true.
Make-A-Wish grants wishes to individuals who meet 2 preliminary criteria. Children
Those
who
are old
received the age of
requirements.
3 and under.
Those are old.
And 2 who have been diagnosed with a critical illness.
Nope. Oh yeah, boom. And 2. There it is.
Maybe he had a match with John Cena in that living room.
Terminal illness. Are you telling me if you're on your deathbed, you're not thinking like, oh boy, there's one thing that I wish I could see.
Me personally, no, but there is a lot of things that could have happened. There is a lot of things that could have happened in there. We don't like that everybody just assumed the absolute worst. The worst thing about it all is that somebody let that video out.
Yeah, it's despicable.
And I'm not happy about it, AJ.
Agreed.
That honestly is the worst part of all of this. Like, why they've had it too since the summer, probably. Why put it out now and why put it out ever?
I don't like it.
They hate the Patriots, obviously.
But we got to cover it. It happened.
Well, I mean, it could have been Bill and this person could have had a really good relationship, and then he's been so pissed lately, he stopped calling him, and now they decided to release the video.
Oh, you think it's a little, is that right? You think it's one of those?
Oh, you want to ignore my phone calls because you're playing bad football and you got the Colts this weekend? Okay.
Oh, my God. No, it could have been.
Oh, boy.
Don't know if you should say this.
Steve Belichick. What if the only thing that Steve Belichick is thinking, hey, know what my dad would do? If I wanted his job, he'd probably release a video of his father, Steve Belichick, which also happens to be his son's name, Steve Belichick. And Steve Belichick releases a video because he wants the throne. Yes.
And Bill gets it because Bill's like, hey, it's football. It's not personal.
I would have done the same thing.
And then they give Steve. They give Steve the head cap.
He's never been more proud.
And bingo. God damn it, my son's a man.
And Bill's going to do like a NFL Films thing where he's going to be like, when did you know Steve was ready to be a head coach? You know that ring video?
Mm-hmm.
When he do the whole thing?
Yeah. It's like Kendall Roy and Logan Roy.
Bingo.
Yeah.
What would he have done?
Holy shit.
Wow.
Figured it out.
Secession. This is it.
To a T.
Yeah. I don't know if you should wish death upon Bill, but
I don't wish death
Don't
upon
get on
Bill.
any private planes.
That's right.
Oh, like Logan.
Yeah.
True. Don't wish that at all.
Well, I didn't finish Succession. Thanks, guys.
Well, we'll catch up. All right. Whose fault is that?
That's not our fault.
Yeah, deep
No,
cut.
long ago
Whose
that was.
fucking
That's not
fault
our
is
fault.
that?
That is not our fault.
That's what we talked about for 10 weeks this offseason, D-Butt.
Yeah, how are we supposed to know you haven't even watched Mighty Ducks, D-Bud?
Yeah, I mean,
Jeez.
you know.
Dick.
Damn. I like that. I
Let me tell you other spoilers about Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
How
I
about
don't care about it.
so?
How about Cool Runnings? Have you seen Cool Runnings?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, good. It's great.
classic.
I just watched it
It's a
the other
classic.
week.
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Get on up. It's bobsled time.
John Candy, R.I.P.
Rest in peace, John Candy.
AJ,
He was
you
a
can
good
watch.
polka player.
You can watch things right now, or no?
No, not so much. But I said a couple weeks back.
Oh, they'll read. You should try to. You should have something read to you. So because you can't use your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
That would be great. Maybe read a couple books.
Yeah.
This one. I read 10 books with one eye. Just have them read to you the entire time. That would be not a bad play.
It's an audiobook. Yeah, I listen to audiobooks.
How many?
I just finished the old one on Sam Bankman-Fried. That was a good one.
Okay.
Right,
So you
let's
do
sped
this.
up.
Oh yeah. I use a 1.25. That's how I listen.
me
Not
too.
too fast.
I'm a 1.5 guy.
So you guys are listening to books on there?
Podcast, but
1.2.
They just added it to
No,
Spotify.
podcast I listen normal speed, but books I go 1.25.
Great for long trips.
Really?
If it's a good book, you got to really search and find good ones. I mean, I bought a lot of stinkers, but then I bought some good ones.
Hey, every once in a while you got to slay a few dragons before you get to the princess. What was the Sam Bankman-Fried one? That's why you were dropping in random. Remember in the middle of the show, you'd be, well, I don't know what's going on down in Bahamas or whatever. It's because he's on chapter 7.
Exactly.
He's in the middle of that entire thing. That's what was taking place. We should have known that. How long's that book?
I mean, I don't know how many pages I listened to it, but it was solid. The
How
one
much
dude, is
time?
it Walter Isaacson? Ty, what's the name?
How many
Who's
hours?
Yeah, Walter Isaacson, yeah.
It's like 7 or something hours at the speed I listened to, I believe. But
I don't know.
yeah, the guy went in and this dude went in and actually was around Sam towards the end during all this stuff. Like, it's crazy what happened.
205 pages is the book, 7 hours, I guess, listening time. That's about 205 pages more than I will open, but maybe audiobook thing, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I might get into that.
Yeah.
It depends on how much you drive. I drive a lot, so when I'm
Yeah, me
home.
too.
What's the last book you listened to?
Bill Belichick's favorite book, Art of War. Sun Tzu.
Oh, Shinju, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Did you learn it? What'd you learn?
Oh, what did I learn?
Did Sun Tzu read it?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's a
Recorded.
little modernized up until the times, but just
Oh, so you didn't actually read
it's
Art
their
of War.
version of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You read the new Art of War.
B, where your
That's
enemy
their
isn't.
interpretation of the Art of War Bible, right? Don't people view the Art of War
Oh, yeah.
as like business life Bible?
Oh, yeah.
Not
Art of
religious.
War performed
No.
by
But kind of.
Aiden. Let's see where we're at right now.
O'Connell.
Talk about terrain.
But are unaware that the enemy is not open to attack. We have gone only halfway towards
Pretty
victory.
fast.
if we know that the enemy is open to attack.
So you're just driving down the street listening to that?
Yeah. Who?
What, dude?
That's 1.2.
Yeah. Who's reading that?
Littlefinger.
Aiden.
Yeah.
So you guys stop at a
sounds
red
like.
light. You stop at a red light. Windows are
Just
down.
playing.
Somebody's next to you. What's the?
It's time to attack.
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
Great song.
Is everything all right? What is
This
the?
guy's name? What do you mean? Aiden Gillen.
Yeah, that is
narrated by-
Littlefinger.
Is there really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds just like him, Diva.
Yeah.
I mean, sped up, so I don't take that as his voice.
Game of Thrones villain. That's who this guy is.
Nice.
And a great reading voice.
Oh yeah,
Sounds like it. Littlefinger.
Yeah.
Littlefinger.
Yeah.
Also, the city councilman in The Wire.
True.
Pat, there's an Elon book I listened to. It's very long, but the dude was like embedded with him for a couple years. I know you won't listen
Embed
to
with
it, but
him?
it's interesting to see how Elon, like, yeah, he's an innovator and always trying to come up with new, like, you know, it made me think, like, man, yeah, like how hard driving he was. It was just crazy to see. Like, it really was how he does things.
Okay, can't wait to hear it. I'm gonna dive into that. I am also. I mean, it's a new me. I'm listening to audiobooks now.
Here we go.
I'm pretty proud of this.
Mm-hmm.
So on the drive home, I'm gonna start.
What's your first one going to be?
Yeah.
Huh?
Bears
What's your
sing
first
Bears.
one going to be?
Shinzu.
Britney Spears.
Oh, that one might be interesting, actually.
Yeah,
listen to
it's
the
gonna be
job.
interesting, but
Rich Paul, look at me.
I read this. So
Oh, hard.
Those books don't go up there.
What
I
about
read that
the-
one in my own voice in my own head.
the latest Jack Carr book.
There it is. He's writing again, right? He's back in there.
Yeah, he is in the lab.
It's down here to your. it's
Jack
by-
Carr
it's
is,
by
right
here.
Little Stein.
Oh, yeah. You're,
Boom. Only the dead.
Hell
So
yeah.
all those things are audiobooks. Their authors don't read them. Obviously, Sun Tzu, Shinzu is going to
No,
be tough.
sometimes
sometimes
the author reads them. I like
believe-
when the author reads them.
I believe Jack Carr does his.
That's awesome.
I bet
Tells-
Lombo does his own.
He's a speaker. I don't know.
Well, the boss might do that one.
Yeah.
Number one audiobook currently, Britney Spears'.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
If you want to dive in.
Well,
When's the book club starting with Aaron? What's that all about?
People
All
love
right.
Yeah, what's
pushing
happening?
it back and pushing it back.
I don't know. Can't wait. We heard mid-December last night from Heather.
McMahon.
There it is. Melissa Stark.
Heather McMahon was on College Game Day.
Right.
Hey, did good. Mm-hmm. Did good. Talked a little shit.
Yeah, it was
Not
good.
an easy spot. Raining.
Yeah.
She did her Heather McMahon.
Yes.
Met her husband. He's a big-time football fan.
Sweet.
He said hello. They were very kind. Melissa Stark, though, who's been on TV 20 years, I do believe.
She was riding roller coasters last night.
I do believe. Yeah, they had her front row. Happy birthday, by the way, Melissa.
Yeah.
She said that Aaron told her, according to him, that he's coming back mid-December. That would be in about a month or so. That would be something that Greeny had been eyeing since the beginning of this injury and since the beginning of the speculation that he can make it back this season. No throwing before the game last night, AJ. No throwing by Aaron Rodgers before the game.
Yeah, what was that about? I haven't spoke with him. He didn't have like a setback, did he?
He also tapped that guy on the shoulder who was wearing his jersey in Vegas and said, hey, nice jersey, took a picture with him. That guy would then go on to further tweet that he was speed walking. So he's been moving pretty efficiently. He's got those big old shoes on still. He looks like he has a little bit of a delay on the, but he's still moving pretty good. 2 months removed from surgery. He's eyeing the middle of December. That would be a big deal.
Yeah, I think I saw him throwing last night.
No, I don't think so.
The report was that on the way from L.A. to Vegas, he stopped a Joshua Tree, and the Moon Rocks told him he shouldn't throw last night, so he didn't.
Who?
Okay,
Aaron.
there we have it.
That makes sense.
We don't
Throw
know.
a ticker.
We don't know if the universe said that.
Moon rocks.
A little far-fetched.
Did he charge him? If they were
He
charged
had to
up?
charge him. He went there to charge him. He didn't. I don't think he got any info. He set him there to charge. He's going to pick him up.
When was the last full moon? That's what we got to.
About a month ago, because we're getting close to another one.
All right, so we'll ask him about tomorrow if he was charging up the moon rocks. But also, why didn't he throw? What's that all about?
Yes, kind of weird. Maybe.
They also reported he's been on a treadmill that takes away 50% of his weight that he's been on. Did you hear that?
I don't know about that. That's what he mentions, right? When he talks about percentages of weight when he's walking on the treadmill or whatever.
I guess. Is that the water ones or the ones where they put him in like a little diaper?
I think it's like the 0G they call it. So they're almost zippered in, and then they can change the amount of weight that I guess you're putting on yourself. Oh my gosh, here we go.
What's he saying here? Woody and Mark and Aaron.
Okay, I'm trying
Hey,
to find
boys. Good to see you. Hey, good to see you, Aaron. Good to see you, man. How's that Achilles? Coming back real quick, huh? Yeah, it's coming back good. Oh, that's good to see you. Oh,
Get in.
it's good to
Yes.
see you.
Yes.
Are those
Hey,
snowballs?
Woody, good to see you, dude.
What's that, pal?
Were those stonewashed jeans he was wearing or white pants?
I think they were white pants, but if they were stonewashed jeans, shout out to Mark Davis.
No, I think they're white. He's all.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the ones next to him are white. That guy's blocking them right now, but you can kind of see Woody's.
They had a close-up of Mark Davis laughing last night while watching the game, and I just thought to myself, who has it better than Mark Davis?
Nobody.
Honestly, I don't know. Can't wait to chat with Aaron, though. A lot of news. He's on treadmill. He's back middle of December. He's obviously going to be at the Achilles factory. Can't wait to chat about it.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of, I wonder how the Jets fans are. To get a little bit of a taste of how all these fans are around the NFL, there's only one segment that we do each week that makes us all absolutely laugh. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for hashtag I don't want to overreact, but obviously put out a bird call tweet in the morning on Mondays of the NFL season saying, hey, listen, let it out. Utilize this tweet as a therapy session. You will not be judged. No, you will be celebrated. Ty went through the entire thing. That ended up being, I think, trending at number 2.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Shout out. Thank you all so much for participating. We fucking love this. Ty, how many do we pick today?
I have at least like 15, but I ordered them from like really good ones to ones that are still pretty decent. But, there's some, it's top heavy. There's some very good ones at the top.
Cannot wait to dive in. Let's get started. This is for Forever Cincy at Forever Cincy. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but the Bengals season's over. And they wasted a crucial year in the Joe Burrow window. The team needs to evaluate the front office, coaching staff, and figure this shit out before wasting the career of a generational talent. What's this all about, AJ? This came out of nowhere here.
No, I think this is these are few and far between Cincy fans that feel this way. You can't say that they're gone or they have no chance with it. It was a battle. It was a shootout. They didn't come up winners. Hey, the ball doesn't bounce your way sometimes.
What were they saying? At home against a rookie quarterback? That's what everybody was saying in Cincy?
Yeah, a lot of people. And for whatever reason, whenever the Bengals lose, it seems like people kind of just aim at Zach Taylor and say, this guy fucking sucks.
Whoa.
Let's get him out of town. I don't know what it is, but anytime they lose, why isn't Lou Anarumo the head coach?
Wow.
A lot of those, yeah.
Easy come, easy go for Zach Taylor.
Yeah.
Easy come, easy go. Just have an update on a news story we were just talking about. I'm being told from somebody pretty close to the situation, those were stonewashed jeans on Mark Davis.
Yes. Okay.
Awesome.
Gorgeous.
Yes.
Just
kind of reinforces your point.
Yeah.
Who has it better?
Nobody at all has it better than Mark Davis.
Yeah.
Let's go to our next overreaction, shall we? This one's from Juan at Latino Lightning. Hey, this guy fucking brings it.
Oh, yeah.
Thunder in the lightning. He's like, that's me.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what he says. He says, oh, well, you're singing about something else when you hit the lightning part. That's motherfucking Juan. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but the Chargers need Bill Belichick more than they need air. Bill's time with New England's over, and he's the only thing that could save this trash of a franchise. Also, Brandon Staley needs to be shipped to the moon for ruining years of Herbert's career. D-Butt, you're a big-time Chargers fan. What do you think about Juan's thoughts?
I mean, that's the most logical move, I feel like, for Belichick, having a quarterback already in place. Quarterback that over the first 4 seasons of his career has thrown for more yards than any other quarterback in history. So you can't look at the team and say, hey, this is this guy's problem. It's obviously the things around him. Get more out of your defense. Get more. You got a lot of pretty good players on that team. You got to get more out of them.
A lot of very good players.
People of the last 2 overreactions, people do not like when you have a franchise quarterback and you lose games.
Yeah, you disrespecting this guy.
Yeah.
You're ruining it.
Mm-hmm.
You ruined it. It's hard to get a quarterback. We got one. You ruined it. That's what people are saying.
Pretty much. And I mean, the Staley thing, it's been from week 1. A lot of people photoshopping Staley as like a Walmart greeter this morning, which was pretty funny. But,
pretty comical.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I got a good chuckle of that. But a lot of people basically just saying like, hey, this guy's a defensive guru and our defense fucking sucks and gives up like 40-plus points every game. So what the hell's going on here?
Let's go to our next overreaction. Juan, sounds like a lot of people are thinking the way you're thinking. This one's from Ryan Janney. Janney's having fun.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you asking questions for? Janney's having fun.
Classic Rye.
What are you using on Twitter? Well, just having fun. I'm Ryan Janney. Hashtag I don't want to overreact.
But
Baltimore blowing another big lead, a big second half lead, losing another starter in Marlon Humphrey. And Ronnie Stanley's contract robbery is compared with Jamarcus Russell's. Whoa. Are the Ravens really contenders at this point? Tone Diggs, the AFC North, Ravens fans turning? Is that what this sounds like?
On themselves, it seems like, but I still think they are contenders. Marlon Humphrey, I think they got good news today. It's just a calf strain. It's not an ACL. Odell looked good yesterday. The rookie running back who went off off last week.
Keaton
Mitchell had another awesome run yesterday. Like, they looked good. If you just don't turn the ball over late, you're going to be fine.
Which we assume they will be able to do going forward in the big-time games. Right? Lamar will be able to will them some wins, right?
Find out
AJ?
right away.
I feel like, Lamar, the stage is never too big for Lamar. So, yeah, I feel good about it.
He's
short week.
Yeah, finally got a good one.
Thursday against the Bengals.
Ravens, Bengals, both teams need one. Let's see what happens. The narrative on Friday should be electrifying as we're live at James Madison.
Hell yeah.
Huh? Hell yeah. Hills of Virginia, I believe.
Yeah. Pumped.
Can't wait.
Gorgeous area.
I was trying to figure out where it was. I looked it up. Looks like it is a beautiful area.
Yeah, no, it is. The facilities they have, too, I believe, are pretty new.
I'm sure we won't be overreacting to that Ravens-Bengals game.
No.
I'm sure we won't do that at all. All right, let's go to another overreaction, shall we? This one's from Jews Man. Jeez.
Yeah, a lot of just kind of.
666 is there in his name.
At least he shaved him.
Oh, he's the devil?
I don't know. So I'm wondering. Hashtag I don't overreact.
ESPN.
But someone might want to call Guinness Book of World Records to see if MCDC has the biggest pair on the planet. Obviously got a wheelbarrow for those things. 4th and 2. Minute 40 left in field goal range. Tie ball game. Says we're going for it. We're not kicking the field goal here. Even though we could and take the lead. Less than 2 minutes left in a football game in the NFL. He goes for it and says, we're trying to win this game, man. We can't give Herbert the ball back. Jared Goff and Laporta pick it up. They would go on to win that game. And all of a sudden, whenever you're thinking about what head coach could lead your team, you have to think to yourself, can it be as authentic, transparent, and lead the way MCDC has? That brand new Lions team is a whole new narrative. It's a whole new story. They go for it on that 4th and 2, and it's like, yep, right call.
Oh, yeah.
Going to pick it up.
100%.
Back in the day, that's a pick 6 probably going back the other way.
Every time.
Congrats MCDC doing his thing, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome when it works, isn't it? If it doesn't work, then I love how people overreact. People overreact both ways, but I think it's always awesome to be aggressive, and I never usually kill coaches when they're aggressive in moments like this, especially it's the Lions, and they are, like you said, it is much different around there than it was before. So they could drop a game and have a call like this that if something doesn't go their way and still drop a game and it'd still be fine. But, man, it's awesome when it works.
Exactly. He's consistently aggressive. I think we go for it on 4th down more than any other team. So, like, last night we won a game because of it. I assume at some point we will lose a game because of it, but I'm okay with it as long as he's consistent.
Well, I'll tell you what, Frank Reich, his first year in Indianapolis, was going for it on 4th down. It was working.
Yep.
And then every year except for that one, it did not.
Got real old.
And boy, it sucked. It's kind of like Brandon Staley. But as long as you got it, if you're on a heater, keep going. And Lions are on a heater right now.
Does the defensive side of the ball look at that sideways at all? Like, hey, coach,
I was going to say that.
Does that mean you're not that you don't trust us, or how does the defense look at that when they could kick the field goal and put us out there to close the game potentially?
Like Foxy said, as long as you're consistent, and we know that's who you are, just like Staley. And shit, if it works, you look like a genius. And Staley came out early, like, look, 10, Herbert, that's the best player on the team. If you put it in his hands, I think that Raiders game, they went for like maybe 4 or 5 times on 4th down, he got it. So if it works, it works. As a defense, shit, that's what the coach is doing. You get out there and you do your job if you got to.
AJ, you were about to say something there whenever Diggs turned that into he said, so is the coach saying he doesn't trust you guys? You said, I thought you were going a different way with that.
I was. Yeah, I wasn't taking it as your own defense. Like, say, I was taking it if I'm on a defense, I know I'm playing a team that goes for it a lot on 4th down. I want to know what D-Butt thought, because I know, at least for me, if that's the case, it kind of sucks as a defense. You know, we got to stop these dudes 4 times. Like, usually, you make a big stop on 3rd down, you're throwing your fist up, you're running off the field, or you're getting punt safe on there, and you're staying on. Now, it's a whole other deal now. When you know, like, they're going to consistently probably go for it on 4th, I think it changes up the mindset a little bit defensively.
Definitely changed the mindset and different level of, I don't want to call it maybe anxiety or stress or whatever, but it's just like, you have that extra down. Even like a couple of weeks, last week, when CJ Stroud didn't have a kicker. So hey, there's no getting to stop throwing that fist up. They're kicking it. They're going for it 4th and 5. They're going for 2 every time. I used to hate guarding 2-point plays as well. So, yeah, that definitely adds another element to the defense. For sure.
You look super cool. And also, AJ, while you were giving that answer, I thought to myself, it's a cool look out of you. Maybe you're a sunglass guy.
I like it.
Bro, I don't know if I'm going to be able to look in the sun ever again. So, yeah, who knows? I might be Jim McMahon from here on out.
Oh, sick.
Lucky
a vampire, too? Not able to go in daylight, only operate at nighttime?
Oh, no, I can't, just
a night hawk.
Is the cigar smoke getting in there? Is that good for it?
Yeah, you've been smoking?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Some of it snuck underneath this, and there's been a few moments during this where it's been burning like hell.
Oh, I thought about
Yeah. Yeah, I can see how that can happen.
I've been trying to squeeze this thing down, get it tighter to my face so the smoke doesn't creep in there.
Smart. Keep that thing on the left hand far away from it. Well,
you can't escape it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Come on.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Act casual, too, while you're doing it. You're on TV. Let's go to another overreaction. This one's from Joe Mart.
Oh, you got this.
Oh, and he's gone. And he's gone. What happened? Where'd he go?
Probably went to.
He blew that smoke straight to the left. And then it's all she wrote. What a life, this guy.
Tough.
Hashtag I don't overreact.
But
no Jefferson, no problem. No Kirko, who cares? A QB who barely knows his teammates' names or the playbook. Big deal. The Minnesota Vikings are legit Lambeau contenders, and KOC is easily the coach of the year. The reigning kings of the NFC North are all the way back. Skull. AJ's back. Skull. 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 AJ, your hands don't work? Jeez, we know your eye does it.
Prick.
Welcome
I don't
back.
knock my cords. I'm all plugged in. I can't really move.
I love that the Vikings are where they are. And why the hell not to all of it?
Seriously.
Why the hell not to all of it, Ty Schmidt?
Well, I mean, they were a couple weeks ago. You know, I was spewing my bullshit about like the Packers. Hey, they're still going to make the playoffs. You know, they're not so far behind the Lions. I mean, they'll sneak in. Thought the Lions were just going to run away with the division. You look at the Vikings. I think they're like a game and a half back. Like it.
Yeah.
I mean, for while we were talking about the Vikings a month and a half ago, like it is absolutely crazy.
Hats off to B-Flow. He's completely changed that team.
Yeah, they're balling.
He looks so cool on the sideline, too.
He does.
That hat and everything.
Great coordinator.
Tough to do in one season, too.
Yep.
And you've seen it week by week just get better and better because you're coming in with a whole different identity. Did a bunch of, coming into this week, did a bunch of drop eights, wasn't blitzing as much. So, like you said, hats off to B-Flow for sure.
All right, let's go. Last overreaction here from ENR at I Resides. Where? I Resides. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Steelers are the worst 6-3 team in league history. I'm convinced Kenny is a bigger problem than Canada. Don't fire Canada. Fire Pickett. Dude refuses to throw the ball down the field and misses wide open receivers. Tone Diggs running Pickett out of time. Wrong guy. Canada's getting challenged. Should be Pickett.
First and foremost, I don't know if they're the worst 6-3 team of all time. The Steelers 11-0 team might have been worse than this 6-3 team. Maybe. So we'll just put that out there. They haven't thrown a ball between the numbers in like 6 weeks. Like there's no balls down the middle of the field at all. It's either back shoulder to Pickens or like maybe a hitch to Deontay on the outside. That is the most frustrating thing that I'm seeing from whether that's Kenny's decision, whether that's how the offense is designed, whatever it is. That's my issue. I'm not out on Kenny yet.
Yeah, let's not fire him.
No.
Let's not fire Kenny Pickett. He's out of pay. He's a good guy.
Give him a break.
What are we doing? Can't log into the computer that has the phones. Sorry about it. Honestly, just locked up. I am so sorry.
That happens a lot.
That's fate.
I should have looked at that earlier, though, whenever I announced it and opened it earlier. That's on me. Hand up. Both hands up. That one's on me. Up, down, up, down, up, down. DJ Griff, College Game Day, killing it.
Great work, Griff.
He killed it this week.
They showed him this week, right?
Yeah, they show him every week. They give him one little shot out of a show. He started week 3 because one DJ quit. One didn't show up and then showed up and then said, what am I doing? And we're like, you tell us, dude. So then Griff gets his job. Kid from our high school, does weddings. It's like, I got a guy. I got a guy that can bring it. He's had a couple weeks where the crowd didn't seem to be as into music as others.
DJ Griff from Plum?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Then he battles out there. And then I'll tell you what, there's a couple weeks where he is fucking slaughtered. This week he did. I was incredibly proud of him. I looked over. He's got this little wig on his head.
Yeah, sweet one.
He's been up since 6 a.m. He's up at 6 a.m. playing Georgia.
Yep.
With his little, I mean, it's fucking bananas. I'm happy for him. Georgia was awesome. Those 2 old hags, though, telling me to get out of there. That was amazing.
That place.
Told me I only had tank tops. I didn't know we were going to such an incredibly nice place. I only have my suit, and then I bring tank tops. So I need a heads up if I'm going to a nice spot beforehand so I can bring some with sleeves because I don't want to be the asshole that puts us in a weird spot when some restaurants say, you got to do this whole thing, and then it sucks. Well,
supposed to. He's an asshole. That's how it is. So I always try to bring something this week. I did not. So I got gifted this Georgia pullover zipper up thing that was awesome. And it was like, all right, I'll just wear this thing. I'll put the hood up too when I'm walking through so nobody will even know it's me. I get in there. I try to go piss these two old hags.
Man.
You don't deserve to wear that Georgia Bulldog. Why don't you go on and get out of here? And then they let me know they're David Pollock fans and this entire thing. And then one lady said, how come you never say anything good about Georgia? And I'm like, lady, I assume you don't listen to much, if I had to guess. I assume your kids hate that you're their mom. But all I do is talk good about Georgia. And with that being said, aside from those two old hags, that place we were eating at, so good.
So good.
So good. The food was phenomenal.
Delicious.
The fans in the middle of that chilly rain, awesome. And then their team against Ole Miss played their best game. I mean, they are. Hey, Georgia's fucking awesome. That place was really cool down there in Athens. Legitimately enjoyed the hell out of it. And their team's a real deal right now.
Yeah, and in that line, thank God there was some kid that was like, sorry, old lady. Actually, all he does is kind of back up Georgia. So I think this is more of a you problem than
it's fun.
problem.
It's funny to watch in real life, like old whites who hate me, and then young crew, like in real life happening right in front of me. I'm like, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And then also, that Uptown chicken that we ate at that place, maybe the best food that I've had.
So good.
Guy's name's Chris. He owns a restaurant. Mom's name Yoshi from Japan.
Dog.
She has all the recipes. She's the one. She came out, asked us if we like the food. Ohio, I've been to Japan. Domo arigato, domo. I did the whole thing. We had a full moment. And then she's like, food? And we're like, hey, Yoshi, you killed this thing. Took a photo with her.
Yeah.
Athens was sweet.
And someone dumped water all over Connor,
Yeah,
which made the night.
Yeah, that was great.
Ridiculous. Some people.
You sons
of just thin skin. You know, that's all.
You think that was what it was?
I think that's what
What'd you
that's
do?
how I assessed it. I just, I talked a bunch of trash about Georgia, and just so happens not everybody could take it.
I don't know if that's what it was.
That's how I read it.
So Connor was sitting next to Kirk Herbstreit.
Okay.
Somebody, pretty prominent human, was reaching over to shake Herbstreit's hand.
Big guy.
Big guy.
Big.
Son, very good at football.
Okay.
Actually had a touchdown running the ball.
Couple.
He reached over to shake Herbie's hand, and while doing that, full pitcher of full pitcher of water. Big.
To the brim.
Big, the freshest water I've had. Chris and Yoshi run a great restaurant. That water was filled to the top, and this, boom, he just going in depth up Herbie, and that thing just dumped.
Was he saying, I want to shake his hand?
Direct, kind of. That was the move.
Yeah,
that was the move.
See,
dumped all over Connor. All anybody on the internet was saying you pissed your pants though, or that you deserved it. That was not the case. I watched it. A lot of ice.
Yeah,
I mean it was not.
The way he worded it is much different than your story.
Well, there's a chance though, because that guy could have heard what he was saying. So like when Connor let me know that the way he viewed it is, these people just can't take what I have to say.
Yeah.
And that didn't even cross my mind. I thought it was accidental. But then once he started laying his case, he was like, well, maybe one of the father of the guys on the team did potentially do that on purpose. And if he did, it was the smoothest knockover of a thing. Made it look like an accident I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he almost broke my hand saying sorry, shaking my hand, so I appreciate that a lot. But I don't piss my pants, people. I poop my pants.
You're right. And on that note, let's get out of here. On that note, let's get out of here. What'd you say, buddy?
Was Ben there? Joke's on them.
Ben the dog? No, Ben was in the hotel.
Oh.
Ben
He's a service dog now. He's an official service dog. He could have brought him.
Yeah, he could have, and he should have, to be honest with you. Ben is a stallion.
Yeah.
He wanders around like our production meetings and stuff, and he's just like so cool. Just like the coolest dog of all time. And then obviously getting a chance to walk between the hedges. I think he met Ugga. And then he's just like, you know what? This grass, oh, they really take care of it down here, don't they, Big Ben? Jake Herbstreit.
Out there?
Ben knows not to dump on a football field.
Who has a bag if he dumps? Does Jake hold the bags?
Yeah,
Herbie just turds?
He doesn't dump. He rolls around. But Jake Herbstreit or Chase probably the ones picking up
I
the
saw
poop.
Ben use a toilet.
Yeah, he will actually flush the toilet too.
Like Jinxie Cat,
Yeah. Herbie got heavy hands though. You ever see what he does?
Oh yeah.
When those kids miss, he is in left. He screamed in that kid's face. Left.
So good.
He has heavy hands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he's on Ben just loving him.
Tries to find that kid and clothesline him too once they miss those field goals.
So him getting in that guy's what was my favorite part of the whole thing.
It was great.
Left right in that guy's ear.
Close, too.
He had a lot of moxie, that kid. Ryan was his name. He was making it.
Thought that was the one.
Me too.
Tall son of a bitch.
6'4", probably.
Yeah.
Pretty athletic. Had an okay kicking swing. So I played soccer whenever I was young. I'm like, this is the guy.
Got a chance.
This is going to be the one.
Gotta aim right.
Way right.
Everyone's missing left.
Slow
What was
down.
Hot Rod telling him not to go aim right?
Hot Rod told him to do what I forget what Hot Rod was teaching him while we were running that Virginia kicker clip.
Yep.
Shout out to him, by the way. Thanks for his service. 34 years old, kicking for Virginia, former, still a Marine, I guess, retired, but now he's kicking, so that's sweet. We were running that clip, and I looked over, and Hot Rod was like teaching this guy, like hands on. And I'm like,
hey, Rod.
Hot Rod, that's part of this whole thing.
What the fuck?
Come on.
Doing?
Hey, Hot Rod, relax there. He kept coaching him, and that guy was talking his shit. I'm like, all right, this might be the one. Got actual tips, points. Hot Rod believes in him. This guy's talking shit. He started the Georgia, Bulldog, Georgia. He wanted this chant. I'm like, oh, this guy, this is the guy. This is a moment, too. He's going to hit it and walk off. As soon as that thing came off sideways like this.
Yeah.
That's it.
Never.
See you later. Now it'll be up over 90,000 this weekend.
Awesome.
James Madison.
They're hot.
And then we're going to Army Navy, I think. That was announced.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
December 9th.
That's at Gillette.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that is going to be a rompous crowd.
Yes. I cannot wait to get up there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was a big one for you. That's a home game for old Connor Campbell.
Yeah, very excited. I have some family who went to Navy and Army, so it's going to be a great fucking time.
Connor's had a lot of away games on these.
Mostly.
All the way back to Notre Dame and Georgia and all these.
Colorado even you could throw in there.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice to get out to freezing cold Foxborough.
Yeah, it'll be the second one. Utah and Gillette. Those are my two homes.
Hell yeah.
Go Utes, baby. Great cover this weekend, Utes.
They're a good football team.
Yeah, well, the guy dropping it on the goal line and then, kicking laces straight back at the kicker was perfect.
I would never wish that upon anybody.
Yeah, it was tough.
All right, AJ, I would never wish upon anybody what you have going on with your right eye. We appreciate you battling through and putting smoke in that thing all day.
Yeah.
I'll be good to go. Cannot wait. Tomorrow I should not have this patch on. So.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Maybe keep the glasses, though, because those are sweet. D-Buck, great work. Boys, great work. Everybody, we appreciate the hell out of you for allowing us to do this for a living. No shot. We'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. Goodbye.